All right. What's good? What's good, YouTube? What is going on? Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Sports Talk. As you know, this is me, Thomas from the Bronx, up in here, and then I got my boy D Free up in here. My boy Socrates Palmer is running a little bit late as usual. You know how that goes. And we got a special guest today, man. We got standout amateur out of Newark, New Jersey. We got Keith Cologne. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
What's
Chilling,
going on, man?
chilling, man. D Free, we got a lot to talk about. We never talked about the Super Bowl and stuff. We're gonna talk about that later. From 2 weeks ago, last week we had the fight to the Garden. I was up in there live with my man Sock, and I know both of you probably watched the fights as well. But first, we wanna talk to you, Keith, and we want to open it up to you, and we let you lead off, and you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background.
I'm 21 years old. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I'm an amateur boxer, soon to be pro. Decorated amateur, multiple international gold medals. I'm a student. I attend Rutgers University, and Newark is like one of the top colleges in Newark. Um, my goal is just to keep bettering myself in all aspects, however that may be, and just be inspiration for the youth.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. I mean, you're a full time student and you're a fighter. You know, that's that's
Yeah.
that's a lot. Anytime an athlete is has to do go to school full time and do practice and then compete. That's a lot. How does that how do you do managing that, and does it take a toll on you? How's that affect you in any way?
Yeah, it definitely take a toll, but it's just all about communication with the coaches, being on the right page. Um, it's the main thing is communication, but yeah, dude. I mean, when you do both, it do take a toll eventually, but you just gotta fight through it. Like some days I go to school, go to the gym, and go back to school at night.
Mm.
So you just gotta be on top of it. You got the communication gotta be good, because if not, then it'll be some days where you ain't gonna be able to train, or you're gonna have to do something just on your own time.
Yeah. I hear you.
yeah. That's real big. I mean, hey, keep doing your thing, man. But
What was
with
that?
you in college, what made you decide to go in boxing? I mean, you seem like you got a head on your shoulders, and you want to do other things outside of the sport of boxing. If it doesn't pan out for you, what made you pick boxing?
Um, well, growing up, I played all sports. I played basketball, football, baseball. I did a little bit of swimming. So it's just like once I got to high school, I was going to like it's a private school called St. Benedict's Prep, and there I was boxing, and you know at that high school you can't really play basketball unless you recruited, because they recruit players. That's one of the type basketball high schools in Jersey. Always going to the states and winning. So there, I just really was like, that's not for me. I just played for fun. Baseball, I wasn't feeling it either. So it's just between boxing and that. Well, boxing and baseball, and I chose boxing. That was just what I like doing. And I started boxing when I was young, so it wasn't like I was starting new. I was just taking off taking off the rust and just getting back to my old ways. It wasn't like, oh, this is like my first day, coming into the gym, or growing up in Nook, you know, kids fight all the time, so I had multiple. I was never scared to fight, get in the ring, or none of that. So it wasn't like something completely new for me.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
I mean, you coming out of Newark, um, you know, Shakur Stevenson is out from the same area. Did you ever have a chance to spar with Shakur in the gym, or work around Shakur in the gym?
Yeah, I sparred with him multiple times. He came to Nook. So like in between fights, sometimes he'll come to Nook and he'll call like, "Yo, I'm in Nook." and we do rounds. One time I even was in camp with him for like 5 weeks. I was in camp with him for his Toka Khan fight in Vegas. So, always see him, always we be hitting each other up sometimes here and there. Like, like he'll be telling me like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. He just give me like a little shout out on the gram, you know.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's awesome, man. That's good, good sparring and he's one of the best right now. And he had a great amateur background. He represented USA in the Olympics. And speaking of the Olympics, that's something you look, to try to do. And but not for USA. You're looking to represent Puerto Rico. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. That's good. And how close are you? You have any tournament dates coming up?
Yeah, I got 2 more tournaments before I eventually just, cross over to the pros. So I got one tournament that's in Jersey, the Golden Gloves, and then I got another tournament. I think it's like late May, and yeah, that's the last tournament. So before the Olympics.
Okay, and is any of those tournaments? I know. So there's, I believe March 17th or something like that. The one in New Jersey.
That's
That's
yeah, that's the
that's
Golden Glove.
that's the Golden Gloves. Now, where's the one? Is there a competition for you to qualify for the Olympics for PR?
Yeah, that's the one in late May. That's the one in
Wait a
late May.
minute.
That's the Olympic qualifier. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay, nice. All right, that's what's up, man. Are you familiar with the fighter Oscar Collazo?
Yeah, from
Okay,
Puerto Rico.
yeah, from Puerto Rico, and he's
Yeah.
also, he was also born in Newark. I don't know if you know
Oh,
that.
for real?
Yeah, he was
Nah, I
born in
didn't know
Newark.
that.
He's New Jersey. I don't know how long he lived in Newark, but he was born in Newark, New Jersey. I looked it up because I looked up some fighters from Newark, New Jersey, besides Shakur, and he popped up and he represented Puerto Rico. I don't know if it was in the Olympics, but in the what the Pan American Games or something like that. I think he
Uh huh.
represented Puerto Rico, and
If I'm not mistaken, he he won the Olympics. If I'm not mistaken, and he
okay,
from the same hometown as my grandmother too. If I'm not mistaken.
okay. All right, so that's what's up. So yeah, so I don't know. So that's good. So now that's another fight out of Newark. You could put it, put up there as a, on your list. A couple other fighters. I don't know if you knew that Marvin Hagler was also born in Newark.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. And then we've mentioned Shakur and another guy that not many people may know about, a guy named Frankie Toledo. You ever heard of a guy named Frankie Toledo?
Sound familiar. Sound
Yeah.
familiar.
Okay. He's from
I
Newark.
probably heard it at one of the ceremonies or something, but it sound familiar.
Yeah, he was in Newark, and I think he might have been born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey, but I think he was born also
Yeah.
in Newark, and he was a featherweight champion. I believe the IBF featherweight championship. So
Oh,
those
okay.
are just a number of guys, from Newark, and then one day your name will be up there as well as representing Newark.
Um,
You know what I'm saying? So um,
Yeah, I,
go ahead, D.
no, I heard you said you got 2 more tournaments before you can go pro. What weight class are you planning on coming pro in?
right now I fight at 125 pounds. So pros, probably start out at 122 in the beginning. They usually give you like +1, +2 pounds. So 122, and then as you start climbing the ranks, that's when you want to really solidify a weight class. So it depends on how my body grow. After like 10 fights in the pros, that's when I really solidify. Like, all right, I'm gonna be in this weight class or chase a title shot in this weight class. But in the beginning, 122 is like most reasonable.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Well, one thing that I did some background checks on you. I did some Google searching, and one thing I learned, like, besides being a fighter and you going to school in Rutgers University, you were an honor school student in high school. So you got a brain, as well as
Yeah.
you trying to beat the brains out of somebody as well. But I believe you started at 12 years old as an amateur at 12,
Right.
and
That's when I started competing.
competing. And I think your first fight was somebody that had 18 fights. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And then your
if
second
I'm not
fight,
mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, he had 18, but he was also a national champ as well.
wow. First fight, amateur, you fought somebody with that experience. And the second fight, I believe you fought somebody that was had 22 years of experience or something like that.
No, he had 22 fights.
22 fights. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that, I mean, you're very ambitious. I mean, you've been battle tested pretty much. Is that safe to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. That was in the beginning of my boxing career, and
Mm-hmm.
and you know I won both of those fights. My first fight with the national champ, he had 17 fights. I actually gave him an 8 count. So
Mm,
that was in the beginning of my boxing career. And since then, I'm a totally different fighter.
yeah.
Like the people that everybody see on TV that's world champions and world champion that's contended for these world titles. I share a ring with mostly all of them on the East Coast.
Mm,
So battle tested, yes, I definitely earned my stripes in the game, and you know, if you ask these people that I share the ring with, they will also testify. So it's not just me just saying like, oh yeah, I was in the
yeah.
ring with. Nah, it was good work. Not just me just sharing the ring, but it was good work to the point where they called me back and was like, yo, we need that work again. We want that work again. So
And that's great to have, man. That's what that experience, and for you to get that call. We spoke to a fighter out here in the Bronx a few weeks ago, about a month ago, and Pete Dobson, and he's known to be a gym rat. The same thing, like he's built reputations from in the gym, and
right.
you know, speaking of that, I know a few fighters from what I've researched that you've been in the ring with, but you want to let us know some of the guys you shared the ring with in sparring?
Yeah, I'm gonna just say the most recent because like some is just like is in the past, but the most
Okay,
recent that's most known now is Stephen fought in Scooter. He just fought in a way.
yeah,
Multiple rounds with a multiple rounds. Couple weeks back, I did even did rounds with Richardson Hitchens.
mm-hmm.
You know, um, let me see who else. He's still up and coming, but Christian Cardo. He's,
Okay,
he's not super known, but he won the nationals, well decorated amateur, and you're gonna hear about him real soon. He trained up with Bozy and Jerron in his gym.
okay, in
Um,
Philly.
yeah, in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Amanda Serrano, Shakur Stevenson. Like I've been in the ring with some crazy names before, even Edgar Berlanga, but that was just on some playing around. We was
Okay,
tripping on
okay.
jazz.
I was gonna say that's a
Yeah,
big guy
like
right
bruh.
there.
Yeah, cause they see me in the gym, they see my movement, they see how tricky I am. So like they use me. Like even
Yeah.
Drevenchenko, he fought Canelo and Daniel Jacobs.
Wow.
I did rounds with him. Um, like the list goes on for real.
That's
It's
excellent.
just yeah.
Even so, wait. So let me rewind a little bit. You said Amanda Serrano
Yeah, man, it's Serrano.
in the ring. Wow. Okay. How was that experience?
It was a good experience. It was a great experience. At first, it was just like, oh, everybody like, oh, she a girl, but it's like, nah, she tough. She
Yeah.
durable, and you know, at the same time, I don't care who it is, but nobody want to get hit by her punches. You get what I'm trying to say? Cause
Yeah. Yeah.
she
Yeah.
got popped. She definitely got cracked. So
Wow.
it's not like you can't just be in there and play with her. Now you gotta actually take the work serious and be focused because she not just in there. She not a slouch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say. Did you find yourself maybe holding back a little bit, like, or you just like any other fighter, you treated her like, you didn't find yourself like holding back punches or anything
Look,
like
when
that.
I sparred her, the coaches tell me, let your hands go. Do what you gotta do. We rather
Yeah.
something happen here than in a fight. So like I ain't never really had to hold back. But this is more so, me being smart. Like
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Why would I want to bang with a banger? You get what I'm saying? I'm a
Yeah. Yeah.
box. I'm using my
Yeah.
ability. I'm not gonna make a sparring session harder. Gotta make it easier. So I gotta box through this. But she's great work. That's really like big sis for real.
That's
She always
awesome.
show love. She even came to one of my amateur fights to support me.
Yeah, I
And
saw I
good
saw I
guy.
saw a picture with you and her. You was
Yeah.
holding, I think, one of her titles, or I don't know if that was it was a WBC title. I
Oh
saw.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
At the parade,
yeah, yeah.
Puerto
Yes,
Rican Day parade float. Yeah.
yeah. I think your
Hold on.
father sent me that picture. He cropped. I have it here actually, but
Yo,
yeah,
me and Amanda did mad rounds, mad rounds.
yeah. I think was this it? Yeah, this is it right here.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's up, man. You've been in there with some good pros and definitely got some good rook. I mean, and with your style, so basically you're saying your style is more of a boxer, boxer puncher.
Uh, honestly, it's just whatever I gotta be. Honestly, I'm not going to box just because, like, whatever is gonna give me the victory, that's what I'm gonna do. If I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
bite down, put my chin down, and be a dog, that's what I'm gonna do. If I gotta box, that's what I'm gonna do. So I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm just this. Whatever's gonna get the victory, that's where I'm gonna be that
yeah,
night.
yeah.
I see you've been around a lot of pros. Um, which fighter that when you was coming up uh, younger that you looked up to and say, you know what, this is the reason why I decided to start boxing. What was the fighter that you saw that made you say, you know what, I want to get into boxing?
But get into boxing,
Yeah,
or just like coming up as a youngin, and just oh,
yeah,
like I
just coming
see.
up that just inspired you to be a boxer. What was
Yes.
the fighter that you looked at?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was just more so like me myself. I just wanted to fight. But as I came up and going to the gym and start progressing in my early stages of my career, definitely Shakur at the time. Not many people knew him. Not many people knew him, but he was. I knew him because the gym. We these are the gyms where all his peoples was at. You see his name throughout the gym. You hear about certain stories. So he's like, who this dude? He going to the Olympics. You know, from Newark. So once I started seeing that, and he was actually coming back, he was coming back from like USA camps to Jersey sometimes to come spar the fighters that I was in the gym with every day. So that was like motivation and inspirational for me to see and just be like, oh, all right, he doing at the highest level and he from Newark, you know. So of course, and just me seeing how everybody just gravitated towards him, it was like, man, I want to be like him, or I want to be in his position when I get to that age or get to that stage.
Okay.
Mm. That's what's up,
Now,
man.
which one of the fighters that you've been in the ring with, you say gave you the best work? And now I know all of them are good fighters, but which one you say, you know what, this one right here really pushed me?
Yeah, I mean it's different. It's different work because like you know with certain fighters like Africa, of course he's way bigger than me, but we go at like a technical sparring match. It's quickness. Real. He's not trying to like bang out because he's bigger than me. So it's like kind of hard, but hard work. I definitely have to say is school to Stephen Fulton because it's just like you gotta think about it. He a dog. I'm boxing. You know, and he coming forward. But like I said, I'm gonna be whatever I gotta be. So if I notice, I'm boxing too much. Now it's time to stay in the middle of the ring. So it'd be some sparring matches where we just in the middle of the ring going like hard to the body, hard to the
Mm.
head. Just real competitive boxing. We talking trash to each other. Um, so like I feel like that's the sparring that bring the best out of me because it's competitive, it's grueling, like it's not easy sparring. So I feel like that's the most competitive, hardest sparring recently.
Yeah,
And
he's the
and
same weight that
Christian,
you coming in too.
yeah, and Christian Cardo as well, because these like Christian Cardo throw a whole bunch of, and that's another thing. I'm amateur. These guys is pros,
Mm-hmm.
and we going like 6 rounds, 4 minute rounds. So it's like my conditioning versus their conditioning, is a little different. I got to start quick to stay on track with my amateur, and they kind of start off slow. So it's like it's a lot of factors that play into these sparring matches, but definitely Christian Cardo and Stephen Fulton.
Nice. That's what's up. And it's great that you say that because a lot of people don't understand like the mindset of an amateur and the mindset of a pro. And it's like you said, as an amateur, you got to start off quick because you only have 3 rounds. In the pros, you got more rounds to maybe try to um, see what the other guy has and try to make adjustments and stuff. But in a 3-round fight, you kind of got to like, get in there and try to, make your
Yeah.
move and establish, a lead early. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
you definitely just can't be just like relaxed in the ring in the amateur fight. You could be relaxed, but you gotta push the pace. You gotta establish your dominance early in the fight. If you calm and you patient in the ring, it's only because you're winning, or
Mhm.
you got the lead and you're in control of the fight. You can't just be relaxed and you're not in control. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely.
Okay. I got a question. I mean, as a father, and D Free's a father as well, and I have 2 kids, and as a former coach, I used to coach baseball, you know, and I live in the Bronx. D Free lives in DC, and you in Newark, so we're not in the best of neighborhoods, you know. Tell us about your parents. Your pops seems like a very nice guy, and he's there for you. How has that played a role, a major? How does he play a major role in your career and in your mindset? And having both of your parents as well, like taking care of you and leading your way. How's that help your career?
Yeah, having a support system is great because it take a lot of load off of my shoulders, um, and it kind of like push me steps and levels ahead of people that don't necessarily have a support system or their parents in their life. Like I never had to struggle about um, eating. You get what I'm saying? I never had to struggle about uh my gym attire or gloves, headgear, this or that. I never had to struggle about stuff like that. I was, blessed to have parents that was in a good enough position to provide and, just take me to the gym every day. I ain't have to walk to school or take the bus. Some people they can't take certain buses or go down certain streets because of the violence, this or that. So
Hmm.
I was able to, get picked up from school, go straight to the gym, and then go to baseball practice. You get stuff like that just helped me you know, just skip a lot of unneeded things.
Hmm. And that's great, and that's great to hear. And that's why as a fighter, you represent yourself, but you also represent the great work your parents did, and the supporting cast that they did. And and we got to salute your parents. I mean, I got to salute your father. He's done a great job. I mean, you're not just only a fighter. You're trying to graduate from a great university. I mean, Rutgers University is a great university, especially here on the East Coast. I mean, that's
Right.
great. And you have, you're majoring in, I believe, in business, from what I'm gathering.
Psychology.
Excuse me.
Major in psychology.
Psycho. Okay, all right. So even even better. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so I just wanted to bring up your parents because obviously your father, me and him have spoken before. I've got the chance to speak to you, and he seems like a great guy, and he's done a great job. And we have to salute the parents. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the one that lead us and they take care of us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's how we get stronger. You know what I'm saying? And I try to teach that to my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that out there. I wanted to salute your pops and salute. I never spoke to your moms, but I got to salute your moms. They've done a great job. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I know Thomas just brought up your parents. How was that conversation when you told your parents, you know what, I wanna pursue boxing as a career? That they spending all this money for you to go to school to these good schools. How was that conversation when you decided that you wanted to pursue boxing as a career?
Yeah, it was. I mean, at first, like I said, I played a lot of sports. I played basketball, baseball, football. And how I am in boxing now, that's how I was in baseball. I was traveling from here to Puerto Rico, going to tournaments. I was in spring tournaments, fall tournaments. You know, like I never really stopped playing sports as a kid from season to season. So when I was boxing, like at 12 my first year, it was just like training. It wasn't, well, not even the first full year. It was really like 6 months. It was just training. And then I started sparring. That's when I started to get my first fights. And then, it kind of just happened naturally. But, my mom, she's not the biggest fan of it. She's, like if I was to stop right now today, she'd love it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, she wouldn't really care. She wouldn't really care if I start today. Uh,
Oh man.
my dad, I mean, I feel as though my mom, she kind of had that feeling though because she don't see what my dad see. You know, my dad see me work and train every day in the gym. So it's like, when you see somebody got potential, it's like, why would you take it away from the kid? If somebody got potential and, you know, it's not like I'm getting beat up every day in the gym. Yes, I spar these pros that's, on TV fighting for world titles. But even in those sparring sessions, I'm still doing good. You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So is for him it wasn't as hard for it wasn't as hard for him, just to, you know, allow me to progress through the sport. But my mom, she don't see she see me coming home, I be having like little bruises like, whoa, what we doing? So
yeah. That's the job of a mother. They got to worry. My wife worries about my kids all the time. She wouldn't let them. I was trying to push them to play ball, but she was more, no, don't force them. So, but that's their job, and so. But you're gonna be fine, and you still have a
oh,
great
of course.
supporting cast, and and that's what's up, man. And you got fans out of us right now. There's people in the chat right now. You growing. You know what I'm saying? So, and speaking of growing, I mean, do you watch boxing? I know some fighters don't really watch or watch the sport as much. Do you follow what's going on in the boxing world?
Yeah, I follow boxing. I'm not gonna say I watch every fight because, like I said, I want to be one of the best in the sport. So I can't watch just every fight. A lot of fighters got flaws, and I'm one of
Hmm.
those fighters where I see it and I'll mess around and do it in myself in the gym. So I just try watching the best of the best, you
Yeah.
know. But I do follow the sport though. I do follow it.
Oh, that's great. Any favorite fighters besides Shakur? Because we know Shakur's definitely got to be one. But any
Yeah,
other
yeah, nah,
any
of course.
fighters?
Uh, I like a lot. I like Tank, Terrence Crawford. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I watch a lot of older fighters. Like it's a lot of fighters now. They. I'm gonna be honest. Boxing is nothing new under the sun. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like it's been around for so long. So I like to watch a lot of older fighters. But Shakur, Tank, um, all of these fighters, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I just pick little things that work for them, and I just try
Yeah.
to implement it in my style because style makes fight. So I
Mm.
just, I'm gonna need something eventually. So I
Yeah.
really like all of these guys. I
So
watch all of
so old school fighters. Name one or two old school fighters you may watch or you like.
them. I mean, I'll give y'all a curveball. A lot of people don't know him, but I watch Ricardo Lopez. A lot of people don't know
Ricardo
about him.
Lopez. Okay.
Yeah, I like watching him. Who else? Uh, everybody says Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson,
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather. Everybody says so. I'm not trying to give y'all these same names, but Ricardo Lopez, and another older fight. Uh, yeah, y'all know from the Murders Row. It's like a little clan of boxers. I think his name was Charlie Burley. I like watching him too.
Charlie Burry. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a old fighter, but a lot of skills.
Okay. That's great.
And
That's
Willie Pep too. Willie Pep. Can't
Willie
forget Willie
Pep.
Pep. Yeah,
That's a
Willie
lot of
Pep.
people's favorite fighter. Is Willie Pep.
I
Um,
like Willie Pep.
yeah. Oh, that's what's up, man. You have a great mind just overall, and that's just it's good to hear. It's good to see. It's good to see a young person in the fight game, and it's just very intelligent. You're very well spoken, and we have to salute your parents for that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it comes from, and then you develop that as you get older.
Right.
So yeah. D Free, you got
Yeah.
any questions?
No. Yeah. I mean, you cover a lot of the questions that I
I'm sorry, man. I talk too much, bro.
had. It's all good.
I know Sock had some questions too, but I don't know when Sock's going to get on. He should be on soon. Sock is our other co-host. He does strength and conditioning. He's been around He's been covering boxing for about 20 years. He
All
wrote
right.
for a boxing website. So he has some questions too. He's worked with fighters as well. I think Ofacio is supposed to jump on. I don't see him, so maybe when he comes on, I'll maybe give him a text. You know who Ofacio Falcone is? He's from the Bronx.
Yeah, I know who
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is.
yeah. He works with him, so I was hoping that maybe you guys get to speak with But what I'll do now is we'll go to last week's fight. Did you see any of the fights last Friday at the Garden?
Yeah, I did. Shushu, Tiger, the main event, Oshaki Foster. I seen clips of that fight. But I mainly watch like people that I know.
Yeah. But Tiger Johnson impressed me because his last two fights he didn't look as good. I think he had a majority decision, a split decision his last couple fights, and he went in there and he stopped the guy in the first round. He looked really good.
Yeah,
I was very impressed to see him. I was there live, and he looked really good. I believe right now he's in Puerto Rico with Shushu.
Yeah, right, with Shushu, yeah.
Yeah. So that Shushu knockout was sick. I got it here. I'll play it here real quick. I was hoping he jump on now, but let's see what we got. Let me try to find it. I'll be struggling with this studio. Studio shaky. Next time we have D Free lead off and do it from his. D Free probably better than me with this. But let me try to see if I could find. Let me see. Here's a little bit of Ofacio.
Tail. Yeah.
Ooh, nice counter right hand.
And then he found that right hand,
which has been his all night. Now with short left hook from Falcon as things start to heat up here in the final minute and 45 seconds of the 6th round.
Look at that sharp and quickness of this kid. Wow. It's good work. Tail. Yeah.
Well, that was a little few seconds of Ofacio. That was some nice work he got in there too. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. I mean, he was the A side. The other guy he's fighting was from Arizona. But Socrates did some research on him, and he was a Nationals guy too. He made Nationals years ago, but I think after that he got into some trouble. He was locked up for a little bit, and now he's fighting again. So, so the guy Ofacio fought was not really, no setup or no, quote unquote bums. I don't like to call fighters bums, but he was a good, a good test, a good step up. But he was highly ranked years ago from Arizona. In the Nationals.
That's a great name on his resume. Name on his resume for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I was gonna go talk about these fights. Let's see. I'll show another highlight here. Let's see what this is. That was sick. The ref got in my way though, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I forgot. I sparred Shushu too.
You did?
Yeah. I forgot. I did spar Shushu.
How was that experience?
Sparring Shushu was good. He's real explosive. He fast. So, with me, it's just I know my abilities. I know what I'm great at. I know what I'm good at, and I know what's not my strengths. So it's like once. You can't just go into every sparring session the same, especially when you're fighting different top level guys, Yeah. So with that, we sparred twice in a matter of like 2 weeks. We sparred like one Saturday, came back it was something like that. But it was good. It was good work. It was definitely good work. Yeah, definitely good work.
One thing I get from Shushu from watching him, he seems very sharp. Like his punches are sharp. Like, I mean, and he seems to have a very good, high IQ.
Yeah, facts. He's definitely sharp. I'm gonna just give you like my experience from sparring him. Like his biggest attribute is definitely his speed and his composure. I learned that from sparring a lot of pros is that they composure. Even though you might get hit or something, they so calm that they still see openings after they got hit. So they might get hit with something, but they so calm that. Oh, boom. After he hit me with the right hand, he dropped his right hand. And then he didn't bring it back home. So they hit pop. Like little stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like composure, being calm, relaxed. As an amateur, sometimes you go in and just they be so calm.
Okay. Question for you. So when's your graduation date for school?
My graduation date is not this year. I think I have 2 more years. More years. It's because at first I did start with business, but then I didn't declare my major, so I started off taking business courses. But with business, it's a lot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The work is not difficult at all. It's just so much work all in a short matter of time. And like I said, I go from school to the gym, back
Yeah.
to school. So it's like if I'm taking 5 classes, four classes, studying, it's like something gonna have to give.
Yeah.
It's either gonna be school gonna have to give or boxing gonna have to give. So I chose to do psychology, and I feel like psychology is still in the realm of boxing. A lot of fighters nowadays talking about they being pulling out of fights because they depressed, mental
Mm.
state not healthy. So it's just I feel as though I could probably help some fighters out, some way,
Yeah.
somehow with psychology.
Okay. I asked because I know you're looking to, at the end of this year, God willing, you're looking to turn pro. So I was wondering, you'll still be in school at the same time. So,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
for sure, for
yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Anything I start, I gotta finish.
Nice. Okay. Um, do I dare ask who you looking to, like, maybe as far as management? Do you guys got any management lined up, or not really looking, or
I mean, it's like it's 2 ways. When you turn pro, it's 2 ways you could go. You could go to the big exposure route, top rank PBC. But it's just pros and cons to everything.
yeah,
But honestly, I mean, we do know like some people that actually was like, when you turn pro, let us know. We could talk, go over some things, possibly see what you'll like to do, or see how the terms would be. So it's that we definitely came across some people that said it, but mainly a lot of these managers and promoters, they don't really want to talk to amateurs until they're a pro, because they don't want to waste their time, they don't want to waste their money, so you can't
yeah.
blame them.
Okay, that makes sense. That's true. I got one more question. I'm running out of questions, but I want to ask. So, do you know the fighter? He's just started, 19 years old, Abdullah Mason.
He ain't just start.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't start, but I'm
He
saying
ain't just
19
start.
years old. 19 years old. What do you think of him?
Nah, Abdullah Mason he's sharp. We actually like the Mason brothers. The Mason brothers came down to our gym
Mm-hmm.
when Shakur had fought a couple times back when he was in Jersey. But it's crazy because growing up, right? Like this is how boxing is so intertwined with each other. Like growing up, the Mason brothers, they from Ohio, but before they'll go to the Nationals, they will come to Jersey, they will come to Newark, and they will spar the whole week there. So we've known the Mason brothers since
Wow.
years ago, years ago, years ago, years ago. But yeah, nah, Abdullah Mason, he's sharp. He's ahead of his game. He's a student of the game, and I believe each fight he gonna show why he's that guy in boxing. He's good.
Okay. So that's great. So you're basically saying that there's some good work in the gym in Newark. I mean, do
Of
you know?
course.
Are there any other fighters we should be taking note of as well in the gym?
Um, and in Jim of Newark,
What's his name? Say
or
that again.
I said from Newark. That's from Newark.
Yeah. That's in the gym. That's that.
Yeah, I mean we got a lot of youngins. A lot of youngins is nice. I just be looking at them like when I was that age, I was not that. Y'all doing stuff that I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? Like these dudes is I don't know how, but there's a lot of kids, especially like from my gym. I feel like my gym, we got somebody named Josiah Kirkpatrick. He just went out to the Nationals. He
Okay.
showed out. I think he got second. We got a female. She's up and coming, but she's only up and coming because it's hard to get her fights. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? So I feel as though if she was the, like a male in boxing, it's easy to get fights. But I think with her second or third fight, she was already at Nationals. So her name is
wow.
Cherish Love. Yeah, it's
Cherish.
like these
Say it again. Cherish
Cherish
Love.
Love.
Cherish. Okay.
Yeah, Cherish Love. Yeah, but it's
Somebody
a
put
lot of fighters in.
Is this another name? Somebody just put that in the chat.
Oh, yeah, Zay. That's Shakur cousin Zay.
Okay. All right. This is good to know. This is good to know. So you're getting good work in the gym. You got a lot of things, really going good for you, man. That's awesome, man. I just got news that Sock just sent me a text. He's coming on a little bit later. Ofacio can't make it. Something came up. He said next week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna invite you again to come on next week if you'd like. I'm gonna have a conversation with your dad as well to see if there's any other platforms we can have you on as well. To tell your story and to talk about yourself to get you more exposure. D Free is definitely one of them, and I would love to have you back on again, and we could talk. We could just talk boxing. We could just talk. What you've been up to. What you're doing next, and it's just be an extra platform for you to share. So what I'll ask right now is if you want, share what your Instagram or any social media platform so that people in the chat and people that watch the video, they can follow you and follow your career.
And my Instagram is official Keith Cologne. So official Keith Cologne. You spell Keith Keith Cologne COLON.
So it's official Keith Cologne. That's an Instagram, right?
Right.
I'm gonna just write that down, and then after I highlight it, you tell me if I did it right.
Yep, that's right.
It. Yeah. Okay, and any other just Instagram, right, for the moment?
Right, just Instagram.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate you, and tell your pops I'll be in touch, and I'll probably give him a call tomorrow. But if you want, you can stick around. We're gonna talk about the fights from last week. It's all up to you. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to, that. I mean, I don't have really many more questions. We hit everything, and I'm really happy that you joined us, and I appreciate you dedicating your time to speak with us today. I know it's late on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying? So you probably got plans for the weekend and stuff like that. So, but I do definitely appreciate your time. I want to give a shout out to my boy real quick, Clarence McLean. I know I think you know who this is. He's the one that put me on. So I want to thank Clarence McLean for making this happen, because he did make this happen and made the introduction.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Clarence does great work, man. Clarence is all over trying to, give support to all the amateurs out there and the fighters in the East Coast, especially in the New York and New Jersey region. So definitely, you guys in the chat, follow Clarence, No Duck Zone podcast, you know what I'm saying? So, but he made this happen, and I just want to thank Clarence for that.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for having me on. And
absolutely.
Allowing me to tell my story and get my name out there. Appreciate that.
Oh, not a problem.
Absolutely. Thank you. So with that being said, you can join us. We're gonna just talk about the fights last week. And then we're just gonna go into, we'll just do our regular talk. So you can join us, you can leave, it's up to you. But we'll continue.
I'm gonna head up. I got sparring like 9 o'clock.
Oh, you gotta go.
All right, man.
Yeah, all right, bro. But thank you once again, man. Appreciate
y'all. Thank you.
All right, man. Man. That kid, he's got a lot of things going for him right now. He looks good. I've seen some video of him already. I follow him on Instagram, so I've had conversation with his pops. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I want to definitely salute the parents, because without them, it's tough. And coming from different backgrounds and bad backgrounds, like Newark is no joke. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I'm from the Bronx. There's some sections of the Bronx that are nice, but then there's some sections like Soundview that are not so nice. So you know what I'm saying? So and it's good to hear. I don't know. A lot of people don't know like my whole entire story, but I didn't grow up with my mom and dad. I was lucky. Could have been a lot worse, but I had aunts and uncles that took care of me, pretty much adopted me, and took me in. Because it could have been bad for me. And I've got 9 brothers and sisters, 9 of us. You know what I'm saying? And then from my mom and dad's side, it's pretty much 6 of us, so, it's not easy. So, salute once again to Keith Cologne's father, which is his name, I believe, is also Keith Cologne. So it's father and son and junior. So, salute to him and to salute to his mom, man. That's always got to salute the parents, when you got special kids like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so D Free, we'll start off with we'll go with last week. We got a lot to cover. Last week was pretty simple. I put it this way: the A side won every single fight. Last week fights, but there was some good work, good showcases. Shushu. Let's talk about him. We had him on the show a couple months ago, and he looked phenomenal. I mean, he fought a guy that nobody knows about, but he was a southpaw. Southpaws are tricky. Kind of, when you fight kind of the unknown, it's not as easy as people may think. And
Right.
I thought Torres gave him some problems early, and I thought that Shushu collected that data, after like the second round, started landing a little bit more. What was your assessment of Shushu's performance?
I pretty much knew after the second round that Shushu had figured him out, because I saw Shushu do something that he normally don't do. We normally don't see Shushu go with the high guard and just walk forward.
Yes.
And I think he did that to test the guy power out, to see how much power he had. And once he realized the guy didn't really have that much sting on his punches, Shushu went in for the kill. Because I was actually driving while I was watching the fight. I was taking my wife to work, and she asked me, she's like, "Wasn't that the guy you interviewed a couple of weeks ago?" I was like, "Yeah, that's him." She was like, "Why he walking like that?" I said, "He about to stop him." She was like, "What you mean about to stop?" I said, "He's about to stop him. He's testing his power." And right after I said that, he stopped him. And she was like, "How you?" I said, "He don't normally fight like that." I said, "Shushu usually stay on his toes. He don't normally fight like that." I said he was testing his power out, and he was going in for the kill. But I mean, Shushu is another one that's ahead of his time. Like, I know he's 26 years old, but he's new in the game, and he really got a lot to offer in the sport of boxing. He's going to be a problem at 126. He's going to be a real problem at 126.
I agree with you, especially as far as being a problem. I mean, for his height and that weight, he's bigger than most of these 126 fighters, pound fighters. And I mentioned when we spoke with Key, I mentioned his sharpness. He was so sharp on his punches. And his last fight, when he had to stop in second, he was sharp on his punches too. And I think one of the reasons why he had the high guard was he was home. And it was a lot of people from Brooklyn that was in there for him. I know the main event, he wasn't the main event. He was the third fight to the main event. You know what I'm saying? But he was the main event as far as the crowd. The crowd came to see him. There was a lot of Brooklyn people there. Shannon Briggs was in there. You know what I'm saying? And and I think he wanted to show out, and I think he wanted to make a statement. And one of his things he was saying all week long was Shoe York City, and then on our show, and he's been saying the Shushu show. So he made a statement, and I just look forward to what's next. Right now, I believe he's in Puerto Rico, because I think it's the WBO. He won a continental title there, or he's
from what I heard, like BBO just hit me up earlier today. He said he won the WBC Latino belt.
You sure it's WBC or WBO? Because WBO, I think, is
it might be the WBO.
Yeah, because it's in Puerto Rico. Yeah,
he said it was the Latino belt. And
yeah.
I was like, okay. I said I didn't know that the guy had a belt, but I mean that's good for Shushu.
Yeah, that's like one of those intercontinental joints, right?
Yeah.
And right now, I'm going to introduce you guys to one of my best friends in the whole wide world, the guy that's always late, but he's always on point. My man, Mr. Socrates Palmer Jr. with the Celtics shirt, Celtics hoodie.
Salute, gentlemen. How are you?
What's going on, Sock? So you missed the interview. We welcomed him back to come back next week if he wants. I'll speak to his father. It was pretty good, but we'll talk. We went right into last week's fights, and we're talking about your guy that you knew since he was 6 years old. We're talking about Bruce Shushu Carrington. So, what was your assessment of Shushu's performance?
Wow. I guess I'm on board like everyone else. I think that you're starting to see the emergence of a star. He fights in a fan-friendly style. He probably took more punches than his team probably wanted, but I think that came from the fact that he he wanted to make a statement. He's fighting at home. There's a lot of pressure, as a lot of people know. We've mentioned it on the show. Fighting in front of your home crowd, there's a lot of responsibility. A lot of extra stuff that goes into it. From promoting, hyping up the fight throughout the week, making appearances, and when the lights are on, you got to show out. And that was a shot that was early candidate for knockout of the year. It was Bruce Carrington is the real deal.
And on cue, as you say that, I got to play this. Keyshawn Davis was there, and this is what he said.
Knockout of the year for sure. Like,
my bad.
He's the guy. All day.
Yeah, that was Keyshawn. He was impressed. He was also there with Shushu's camp. But yeah, already early candidate for knockout of the year. The knockout was sick. Even though, I know your view was better than my view, even though I was closer, but the ref was in my way. You could hear the thump and you saw him drop, but I didn't get to see the punch until the highlight. I have the video here. I'll probably play it again in a little bit. But yeah, we were just talking about it. D Free mentioned also the high guard. And then I was mentioning, he was home, in front of, it was a lot of people from Brooklyn, a lot of people from the hometown. He was pretty much the show, even though he wasn't the main event. And I think he was just there to make a statement, and statement made.
Yeah, for sure. And credit to his opponent. He didn't come to lay down. He had his moment early.
Yeah.
First
couple rounds, he landed some good punches.
Yeah. You see in the post fight, Shushu had some redness under his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Had some blood from his lip. But there's like the new cliche. There's levels to this, right? And Shushu is on his way to stardom. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time with the next year or so that he's going to have a world title shot, and he's going to be great. He's going to be great. I think he's got all the tools, and he's not the typical Brooklyn knucklehead. Sorry to offend anybody.
That's a good point.
But, facts are facts. He's got a stable home front. His father's ever present. His mom. And I think, he has seen a lot around him that he knows what's, the right path. And even if you speak to him, I mean, he speaks very maturely.
Yeah.
He went a little cosplay, in the post fight, quoting the great Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
But that's cool. He was in the moment, right?
Yeah.
He got caught up, and that's awesome. I mean, he as a young boy, we showed the interviews. With Jose on Fire, he had the Mike Tyson face tat, right?
Yeah.
He idolized Mike like everyone else. So, but don't get it twisted. He's a guy who's got his head on his shoulders. He knows that this is a business. He knows he's here to sell, and he's got the goods. It's gonna be a good run for him for sure.
Absolutely, and I want to just double down on that, and it's great that you said that, because a lot of people from that area that were fighters, because a lot of fighters come, from Brownsville, from Brooklyn, and they don't really have, the best mindsets. Let's put it that way. But Shushu seems to, have a good head on his shoulders. He was, brought up well. His parents are, both in his life, and they've done well by him. And we had him on the show. He spoke well. He joked with us and anything. You don't see any of the, any Zab Judah in him, or like, any, young Shannon Briggs and stuff like that. So definitely. And like you said at the end of our interview, you said sky's the limit, right? So
yeah, for sure. And I wish him all the best.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I didn't really get to salute anybody in the chat. We went right into the interview. I apologize for that, but I have taken notice. I've seen you all in there, and I want to say thank you for joining us and appreciate you guys, for coming and watching, whether you're on D Free's channel or my channel. I definitely appreciate you guys, and thank you. So if I didn't salute y'all, I'm saluting y'all now. So yeah, so let's moving forward. My man Josh said this. You could see D. I'm in this bitch. I want to move on forward. Not one of the main events, not in the big fights, but our guy. Even though he couldn't make it tonight, he was on a couple weeks ago. Ofacio Falcone. He had a great performance. I'm gonna play another clip. I played it earlier for Keith, but he looked good. And here's a little clip of Ofacio Falcone from the Bronx.
Hell, yeah.
Ooh, nice counter right hand.
And then he found that right hand,
which has been his all night. Now with short left hook from Falcone as things start to heat up here in the final minute and 45 seconds of the 6th round.
Look at that sharp and quickness of this kid. Wow. It's good work. Tail. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm gonna lead it off with Sock in this one, only because Sock could be a little biased, but Sock keeps it real. Sock, give me your assessment on Ofacio.
I thought Ofacio looked great. There was look. I'm from the Emmanuel Stewart, Freddie Roach philosophy. Every fight should end in a knockout, right? But when you win 6-0, it's hard to critique. And at this stage in Ofacio's career, we're building record, and he's learning every fight, and he was in control, and the guy, that he fought, Edward Ceballos, is not a bum. If you dig deep in his bio, Ceballos went to the Olympic trials. He was eliminated by Shakur Stevenson, a guy that some people might have heard of, and he was 5th. So the guy at one point in his career had some promise. He got caught up in the street life. He went away incarcerated, which became a big obstacle in his career, and now he's where he's at. But he was game, and Ofacio had no problem with him, So, like I said, I would love to knock out, but he was in control. And the announcers, color commentator Tim Bradley, fight. He pulled him to the side and he gave him a good criticism. And he said that he's got the goods, and just to continue to work hard. And there may be guys out there in the world that work as hard as Ofacio, but no one works harder, And yes, I am biased, but I'm also a witness. I'm in there in the gym with him. He's all about his business. He's very focused. He's determined. And I expect big things from him in the future. And I'm happy to play a small part in it.
And what Sock is referring to is this.
Got all the skills in the world, you're patient, where the guys your age and 90 minutes fight you got, bro, like you had in the game. You are. A lot of skill. You done a good job, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, that was the what Sock was referring to. Timothy Bradley pulled him to the side, and he was, congratulating him and telling him, if you got dog in you, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, no, he certainly does. And good. I had no idea you were going to play that clip. So nice segue. A little Stockton to Malone there.
Yeah, man. Before D Free goes, I just want to say, I thought Ofacio looked good. I'm also like you, I wish, in certain cases, I thought in that fight, I thought maybe he could have stepped on the gas a little bit more, and maybe I thought he could have got him out of that. He definitely hurt him a few times. There was one that he wobbled him. I would have been nice for him to get a good stoppage there, but nevertheless, he had a great showing and great work by Ofacio. D Free, I don't know if you got a chance to see the fight. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I saw the fight. Yeah, I mean, with all young fighters, you're going to see things they need to improve in, but the end result is what he was looking for, which was the W, and that's what he got. Everybody wants a knockout, but sometimes the knockout don't come. And actually, him going the distance is actually better for him. Is a lot for him to work on. He could see more of where he needs to work at and where he needs to improve at. If he would have just went in there and knocked the man out, he would have thought, hey, everything was on point. I ain't have to work on nothing else.
Mhm.
But when you go the distance and you put those rounds in, that gets you better for the long haul. Because we see with Edgar Berlanga, he was getting all those first round knockouts, and now we see him going the distance a lot more, and he's looking like trash out there. So a lot of times you want your young fighters to put some rounds in and get that work in, so you can see what you need to work on in the gym. Because like I said, if everything was going as they planned, they would have been like, okay, we don't need to work on anything else. We could keep doing what we're doing. But now that he went the distance, you got more footage to see what you need to work on. So I think he looked good. I mean, of course, like I said, he's gonna have stuff that he needs to work on, but he looked good. He got the W, and that was the main goal.
Yeah. And that's good. And he's got the rounds too. I know he hadn't fought since last June, so it was nice. That was a kind of a big layoff, for him, in my opinion. I would hope to see him maybe in the next few months. That's one of the questions I was going to ask him if he came on today. I guess we'll ask him next week. And I'm sure he's looking to get back in the ring right away also. So, but yeah, definitely. He got 6 rounds in, and he pitched a shutout, and good for him. And, hopefully he'll come on next week. We could ask him more questions, what he thought of his performance. I'm sure he thought he did well, and what was his point of view. And he could give his own assessment and what the future holds for, Ofacio.
Lala said the question that you're looking for. She said, Thomas, did you hear Shushu reaction when I asked him on Mill City will he fight Gary Russell Jr.? That was the question that she asked you.
Oh, okay. And what was his reaction? What was the reaction?
I didn't see it. I didn't see that interview. I didn't even catch it.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I don't. Mill City does good work, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's a little bit of an instigator, and I kind of don't like that. That's just me. Other people may like it. He gets good interviews. He gets people on. I catch it every once in a while, but I don't like, what he does. He instigates. I've seen some scenarios he had people on and he instigates stuff. And I mean, I guess it's cool, but me personally, I don't like it the way he does, he does it. That's just me though. I mean, everybody's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got that vibe from him too.
Yeah.
Like he plays to whoever he's interviewing.
Yeah.
Like one minute the interview, if he interviewing somebody and they saying something, he's playing to them. And then the person that he was talking about, if he's interviewing him next, he plays to them. So
yes,
I get what you're saying.
And I've seen that too. Yep. And I don't think that's cool. And look, I'm very biased when it comes to my Boricuas, and I know he's Puerto Rican, but I got to tell, like, in my opinion, I don't like it. But kudos to him. He's got a good channel. He's getting good interviews. You know what I'm saying? But it's no hate. It's just that it's just my preference, and I'm not
What's
a
going
huge
on,
fan
Just
of it,
Do?
you know what I'm saying? So, but but shout out to him. I mean, he's doing good work. I'm just saying I just don't like, the little instigations and what D Free was referring to. So, was that Lala? Hold on, she's saying Shushu first said there's no demand for that fight. Then he said I'll fight anyone. Then someone on Shushu's team wanted to know who asked. I think they know Gary Russell Jr. is tough. Gary Russell is tough.
Yeah. At this point in time in Gary Russell's career, Shushu is not on his radar. Gary Russell, if he does decide to come back, he's only coming back for big fights. He's not looking to be a gatekeeper for nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, what is Gary's status? I mean, he hasn't fought in how long now?
2 years.
Yeah, I know he's now he's the patriarch now of the family, right? And I know he's very involved in his brother's careers. But I think Gary is, he's world champion, but the talent level, like you saw, there could have been more, I think he could have had a better career. But nevertheless, a lot of guys would like to trade their careers for his. He had great success. I hope he's not done, because I've always been a fan of him as far as his ring style. Have you heard anything? Does he still want to fight? D, I know that you have some insight.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's working on a fight or not. Like I know they working on Antoine getting a fight,
Mhm.
so I'm not even sure if they're looking to get Mr. Gary Russell a fight. I know he said he want to come back and he wasn't planning on coming back at 126, but I'm not sure if they really focus on Mr. Gary. I think they're more focused on Antoine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the lead trainer, right, for Antoine. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, and I think he'll be an excellent coach, an excellent trainer. And he hasn't fought in over a year. So I mean,
It's been 2 years. It's been two.
2 years. Wow. So I mean,
Yeah.
I like Gary. We've met Gary Sock. He was
Mm-hmm.
very nice guy. Very welcoming. I don't know if if D Free is like that, but Gary definitely was. So but yeah. I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, I think he'd probably be better off with Antoine as coaching Antoine right now. Unless he gets maybe like a tune-up fight and then try to get back in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Dee said, I don't think he's looking to be anybody's gatekeeper or anybody's stepping stone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay.
Let's go to the main event of the fight. O'Shaquie Foster against Abraham Nova. A lot of people had it close. The judges had it close. It was a split decision, and it came down to the last round because if they don't score that knockdown, it's a draw. So, what did you guys think? I personally thought O'Shaquie won comfortably. I thought he won the last 5 rounds easy, and I had O'Shaquie, 8-4, 7-5. I wasn't really keeping score, but I thought Foster was the clear winner. In a good competitive fight. I thought Nova gassed out in the second half of the fight. He looked good in the first 4 rounds. Maybe won 3 of the first 4 rounds, and then after that, I'm not sure how many rounds he won. He definitely didn't win the last 5. I thought O'Shaquie won the last 5 going away. The knockdown was a little bit shaky. It looked like it was a trip, but O'Shaquie did buzz Nova in the 11th, and I think he buzzed him also in the 12th. So, I thought it was a clear win for Foster, and I look forward to see what he does next. I know there's talk about what Navarrete. There's talks about him maybe moving up, and maybe Chase getting that Shakur fight. I know he wanted to fight Shakur a while ago. We'll see what happens. What do you think, Sock?
I mean, I think it's the type of fight depending. I mean, that's why judges are in different spots in the ring, right? And
Yeah.
from where I was sitting by the neutral corner. I had it a draw. I thought Nova kind of blew the fight. I thought he had control early, and O'Shaquie still in the fight. And to me, the knockdown made it a draw. I
Wow.
thought like what you said. I thought Nova really lost a lot of steam the last 4 or 5 rounds. But I thought it was a very competitive fight. It was entertaining. Nova kind of carried the action. He threw probably, I think, over 100 more punches than Foster. But I don't think it's a trend. I mean, I don't think it's a fluke. It's O'Shaquie's trend. He gets stronger as the fights go on. We saw
Yeah.
it in the last fight. And he mentioned that he had trouble making weight for this fight. Like I said, I thought it was a very competitive fight. Does it warrant a rematch? Maybe. If nothing bigger happens for O'Shaquie, I could see a rematch happening. Though Nova gave a good showing. He had a good crowd. He had his mascot. His mascot had a little bit more fight than him in the end.
I don't know if the camera ever showed the mascot, but the mascot through the whole fight was dancing and throwing punches the whole fight. And I don't know how he did it because it got hot in there. I had a hoodie on, and it was warm, and he's got that whole costume on, and he was throwing punches and
dancing.
That was
amazing, yeah.
The entire fight.
Yeah. I guess it helps when nobody's hitting you back. But I thought it was a good fight. It was good. I'm pretty sure it was good on TV. It was good in person. And maybe they do it again. Like you said, O'Shaquie and Shakur is a great fight. It's a very intriguing fight. Does it do anything for Shakur? Maybe not, because it's kind of like it's not the marquee fight that he wants, but definitely would be great for O'Shaquie.
D-Free, what you thought?
Yeah, it was a definitely a good fight. I had Oshaki up 7-5. Um, that knockdown, it was a legit knockdown because I mean I know y'all was at the fight so y'all couldn't see the replay, but Nova was stepping in and Oshaki caught him right when Nova lifted up that back foot, and he went to go plant it back down, and he had got caught, and he just went down. And so it was a legit knockdown. It wasn't no slippage or anything like that. It was just a bang bang situation. He got caught right when he lifted that back foot up, and but I had Oshaki winning that fight. Even without the knockout, I had Oshaki winning that fight. I mean, the knockdown. I had him winning. Actually, I said 7-5. I meant to say 8-4. I had it 8-4. Because I had him winning even without the knockdown. I had him winning that fight. Because Nova came on the first 5 rounds, like you said, he won like 4 of the first 5 rounds. But that back half of the fight, it was pretty much all Oshaki. Nova was still throwing punches, but Oshaki was the better fighter. He was more poised in the situation, and at no point did Oshaki look like he was worried in that fight. Like every time they showed him in the corner, Oshaki was like, "Okay, I got to do that. All right, I'm gonna go out there and do it." He didn't look like he was behind at no point. Even if he was behind, it didn't show on his face that he looked like he was behind. So, but I had Oshaki win it. Nova, I think he's going to make some noise at 130 because he's a good fighter, and I think there's a lot of guys he can beat at 130. I don't think he beat everybody, but I think there's a lot of guys at 130 that he can beat. He very well can be a champion at 130 because I think 130 is up for grabs. It's not no clear winner. I mean, no clear guy over anybody because if they have a rematch, who knows? Nova might be better prepared for that fight in the rematch because we got to remember this is Nova's first fight at 130. So it was him moving up in weight, and he took on one of the best at the weight class. So I think, I mean, he definitely can make some noise at 130. Now, Oshaki, I want to see him unify with somebody at 130. I know he's been wanting that Shakur Stevenson fight for years. He was Shakur Stevenson number 1 contender for like 2 years. And so he wants that fight with Shakur, but I think he can get a unification at 130 and possibly become undisputed if he plays his cards right. But I think he definitely can be unified at 130.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone in the chat,
I
mentioned him and Lamont Roach.
Yeah,
like,
Lamont said he'll break his face, and I'm like, okay, Lamont, you're a good fighter, but you don't have that type of power.
No,
you don't have that type
I would
of power.
favor Foster for sure.
Yeah, and they've been and I'm glad that he brought it up because I would have forgot. And they've been going back and forth on Twitter like the day after the fight. Lamont Roach has been chirping and Oshaki tweeted back. They've been going back and forth on Twitter, or AKA X, and they've been going back and forth, which looks good. So maybe that's a fight that needs to be made. This fight, I believe, was a voluntary fight. So I believe they gave Oshaki a few fighters, 3 fighters. He chose Nova as a voluntary defense because he wanted to fight in the Garden. So and also there were a lot of Abraham Nova fans there. There was some people rooting for Oshaki. There was some kids there that came to see Shushu because he had the Cops and Kids program. But there was some kids there because Oshaki came that first day he was here. He came to a school in Harlem and a school in the Bronx and visited some kids. I think he gave out some sneakers and stuff like that. So he had some fans in the form of those kids. But the crowd was mostly pulling for Nova. So it was good to see, Oshaki in another road fight, right? Because that's 2 straight road fights, in quote unquote hostile, territory. And he was kind of behind in this fight early with Nova, and he came back strong and finished it strong and won the fight. Just a quick note too, a couple guys that we know in media that watched the fight on TV, they also thought Oshaki Foster won easily. Rich Mancuso, who we had on the show, he had him 116, 111, I believe, or 116, 112, or something like that. And Pedro Fernandez, who we also had on the show from Ring Talk, he had Oshaki Foster winning comfortably as well. He was actually mad that that the fight was as close as it was. He was like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" Sock, what does he always say? You just don't get it.
Yeah,
Let me see if I will see if I got a little clip. Hold on one second. He was not happy about that, Nova.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I was most excited about that fight was they had my favorite referee in there. That was
Willis?
I love watching that referee. It's the facial expressions that he be making.
You saw when he turned around. He said, but Willis is kind of on me and Sock's shit list from his last fight. That we was there in November when Maella fought Kalen Walsh. He's on our shit list because they called that knockdown. Peace, Clarence. Thanks once again for the hookup with the Keith Cologne interview. Appreciate you. I'll give you a call tomorrow. But that was he's on our shit list. But it kind of a questionable knockdown again in the last round of a main event fight. That's two times we saw that, Sock, because he called the knockdown in the last round with Kalen Walsh, which some people thought it was a slip. And then look again, they call it. It calls a knockdown in the last. In the last round too.
I do think this was legit. The shot definitely landed. And like D. Free said, he kind of caught him with his back foot in the air. And he kind of walked into the shot. Steve is a character. He knows that the cameras are on. He's mad.
No, you got to believe that he knows that. Of course, he's a showman.
Yeah, He reminds you of what's my man's name from The Naked Gun in the scene with the umpire. He's called
Leslie. Was it
Leslie Nielsen?
Yes. Leslie Nielsen. Yeah.
Yes.
He's doing the moonwalk and he calls the strike.
Right. That is Steve Willis. I just want to see before he counts to 10 on somebody do like a James Brown split. I think it's.
I don't think the corner of the guy that's down would be happy with that.
But that's what I saw. Roach had tweeted that out. I had said that I think he did tweeted it out that he'll break O'Shaquie Foster's face. That's why I said I know he definitely can get a unification. Yeah. I root for Roach because he's from the DMV area, from the DC area, but I got O'Shaquie Foster winning that fight. I don't think Roach has enough power to keep O'Shaquie Foster away. O'Shaquie is the bigger fighter. He's the rangier fighter, and I think their skill level are almost even. I think O'Shaquie is just a little more seasoned than Roach.
I agree. I definitely favor Foster. I think the skill level is almost even. I edge Foster a little more, and especially with the winning streak he's had, and I feel like he gets better and better, and obviously he's better in the second half of fights. He gets stronger as well. The only thing I question is can he do 130 anymore? Like he made 130 at the weigh-in. I don't know if you saw the weigh-in, but he had to strip that completely down to make the weigh-in. I don't know how much, what that says, if that's good or bad, but I wonder how much longer he's fought at 130 for a long time. So I'm not sure, if he needs to move up, now to 135. And that's why I brought up Shakur's name. Be interesting. I don't know. That 130, it's kind of, it's questionable for me now. So,
yeah, I would love to see him go to 135 and be a contender at that weight class because I think he can make some noise at that weight class. But when I watch O'Shaquie fight, I don't know if he beats a Shakur Stevenson. I definitely don't think he'll beat a Tank Davis. But I don't know if he beats a Shakur Stevenson because I think he gets hit a little bit too much. Shakur is much more better on the defense end of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think O'Shaquie will be able to hit Shakur with a clean enough shot to make Shakur shy away. So I would lean heavily towards Shakur in that fight, but a small part of me will be rooting for O'Shaquie because he wanted that fight with Shakur for so long.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're probably going to see before the end of the year, we're going to see him and Navarrete.
Yeah.
It's a good action fight. A fight that can be made in Texas. It should do well economically. And like you said, Foster gets hit a lot, and Navarrete throws very awkward punches. And Foster may be the more sound guy, technically, but maybe Navarrete might be on the down slide.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a really good fight, interesting fight.
It's definitely I definitely interesting. I mean, Navarrete throws a lot of punches, but you can outbox him, but he's still got that equalizer. He's got power. He don't really have one punch knockout power, but he can hurt you. He can hurt you with one punch. In that fight, Concepcion he fought, if those knockdowns don't happen, he loses easily. Like he got outboxed for the majority of that fight. I still thought Concepcion won the fight. But they gave him a draw. You know what I'm saying? So but that's definitely and that's a good fight. And they should make it in Houston. I think he deserves a hometown fight. So if not Houston, then why not Dallas? Either way.
I mean they won't do Houston because I believe at the time that O'Shaquie will move up and fight him, I think Navarrete is going to be the WBO champion because he's about to fight for the WBO vacant. So I think Navarrete is going to probably make it a hometown fight for himself. He'll be the champion.
Wow. Yeah, and because he's moving up to 135, it seems.
Yeah, he's fighting Denny for the vacant WBO.
Yeah.
He is going up to 35? Okay, I didn't know that.
They were trying to set him up. Weren't they trying to set him up with Shakur? Was that the
No, Shakur wanted that fight. Shakur called him out.
Yeah.
And Navarrete, the WBO had announced Navarrete fighting Denny for the vacant WBO, and that's when Shakur had said, "Man, I'm retiring." That's when he came out with the whole retirement. He wanted that fight.
Shakur. I really like Shakur, but he's got to stay on Twitter sometimes. Just my opinion. But I like Shakur. Shakur's top 5 pound for pound for me, but I mean his last fight was not the fight I was expecting to see, but hopefully he can redeem himself soon. That's gonna, that's it for the last week's fight. I don't know if you guys want to mention anything else from last week. We had a friend of ours. He fought at the beginning of the card, Arnold Gonzalez. He got a win. He gave himself a C+ performance. I was trying to get him on. Maybe I'll try to get him on next week. He fought Brian Chevalier, who I interviewed and spoke to. He came up short. He lost in the co-main event. He got stopped, I believe, in the 4th round. His team, his corner stopped the fight. I thought they should have, let him fight. Sock told me that, it looked bad from his end, that was a good stoppage. So hopefully we've seen him. He's doing well. From what I heard, he's in PR right now. He's doing well. Hope to see him come back soon. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the card. But it was a good card, very good experience for me. My first time getting credentials for a top-ranked fight. I got to be in the press. I got some good video, took some pictures, as you see here, and I posted on, good experience. And I'm looking forward to the next big New York event, which looks like it will be April 20th, 420. Yep. In the Barclays. And
Ryan and Devin.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see that these 2 West Coast guys are getting to fight on the East Coast in Brooklyn. D Free, what do you think about that?
It's horrible. They botched the hell out of that damn fight. Why would you put Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney in the Barcade when you can sell so many more tickets by putting them on the West Coast? Even if you don't put it in Vegas, you could put it in LA. You could put it in San Fran. You botched the hell out of that fight. that is horrible. If I was Devin Haney, I'd be sitting there looking at Oscar like, man, what the hell are you thinking about? No, we from the West Coast. Why are you putting us on the East Coast?
Well, I know Sock definitely agrees with you, and I saw something earlier today. Maybe Sock will touch up on it, but go ahead, Sock, because I know you definitely agree.
No, I mean, to me, the fight should have been in California. I mean, these two guys are not on the magnitude of when Oscar and Shane fought, right? They're nowhere near the superstardom. But that fight was made at the Staples Center, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, but I think these guys are from Northern California, Devin from San Francisco, and Ryan, I believe, is from not too far. So to me, that's a fight that should have been made in California. I mean, Vegas, I guess, is second best thing, but I guess maybe the Barclays Center gave them a better deal. You know, it's been a while since they had a big fight at the Barclays. Now, Ryan and Devin are still big enough names, you know, that it will do well at Barclays, but I think it really shuts out from the local fan that kind of maybe saw these two guys coming up and maybe even followed them when they fought in the amateurs. So, you know, it's a little weird, you know. It definitely, this fight has West Coast feel to it, but I think it'll do well at Barclays. I mean, these are two still big names, and New York is New York. Let's not get it twisted.
Well, guys, I'm going to go against you guys because I'm selfish, and why not New York? Because I live in New York, and it's easier for me to make the fight. So I'm selfish. It's all about me. All right, and but I agree. I think the fight should have been in California, but I'm happy that they are doing it in the Barclays. I'm happy they are doing it in New York because it's another fight New York gets to have. And I get to see in person, and you know I like to go to the fights, and I like to go watch the fights, especially the last couple of years where you know I had some access to some good fighters and stuff like that. So why not? I met some good people at the fights as well. So I'm a little selfish, but I did notice a tweet or it was a tweet or an Instagram post. I'm not too sure which one, but Ryan Garcia is very upset about this, and he's saying that this doesn't make sense. And that, I have to say something because it's my career, something to those words, that he's not happy that the fight's in New York. And then Devin Haney responded back like saying, oh, look at this guy. He's trying to find his way out of the fight now. Look at him try to run out of the fight. So Devin Haney doesn't seem to be upset, Sock. I mean, he seems to be happy with it being in New York. But it's very shocking that this fight is in New York and not in LA or anywhere in California or even somewhere in the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think about it. The last big fight they had at the Barcade was Tank Davis versus Rolly. They broke the daggone record, sold $5 million at the live gate. Now you got Ryan and Devin coming behind that. This look like disaster all the way around. you got Devin and Ryan fighting on. Is this going to be pay-per-view? Because I heard it wasn't going to be pay-per-view. Then I heard it is going to be pay-per-view.
I'm not sure. I've heard both. I've heard it was, and I heard it wasn't. So I'm not too sure. But they are doing 2 press conferences for it.
Yeah. So I don't know. If it is pay-per-view, you got Devin fighting Ryan Garcia. Now he's coming behind what Tank Davis did with Ryan Garcia. Not only is he doing that, now you fighting at the Barcade, also coming behind what Tank Davis did at the Barcade. So it got disaster written all over it. I'm like, no, you coming behind Tank Davis. You want to try to outdo Tank Davis or at least keep up with Tank Davis. If you do this on pay-per-view and it doesn't do at least 500,000 pay-per-view buys, they're gonna say, okay, well, Tank and Ryan did 1.2, Devin and Ryan did less than 5. Now you at the Barcade, if you don't sell close to 5 million at the live gate, they're gonna be like, well, Tank did 5 million with Rolly. You had Ryan and you couldn't sell 5 million with Ryan. So it just got disaster written all over it. It's like they trying to outdo Tank, but at the same time, you not putting yourself in a better situation. You're putting yourself in a bad situation because, you can make it a big fight. I mean, I don't have no problem with it for the fans. The fans getting a bonus. It's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
The fans is getting a bonus. But if you want to maximize your dollar, you want to put it where it's going to make money at.
Mm-hmm.
And where it will make money, the most money will be on the West Coast. That's where both these guys are from. It's a hometown fight for both these guys.
Yeah.
So now you got Ryan fans coming out there, all of his Instagram fans or whatever, they coming to the fight. And then you got Devin Haney fans, all of them coming to the fight. And then if you put it on pay-per-view, it probably do pretty good on pay-per-view as well. So you're on a win-win situation. Now you put it on the West Coast, on the East Coast, you're in the barcade. They don't really have a big fan base over there. They got some fans, but not nowhere near as what the West Coast is.
Yeah.
So you're on the East Coast, and then if you put it on pay-per-view and it doesn't do good, now you got 2 strikes against you coming behind Tank Davis instead of maybe a 1 strike coming behind Tank Davis on the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, basically, what we're looking at is that we don't have many Ryan fans or many Haney fans here in New York on the East Coast. But who's going to come to this fight? You might get a bunch of Tank fans, a bunch of Shakur fans, right? And some T.O. fans will be in the arena, for this fight, which makes it interesting. And I'm sure all 3 of those guys may be in the building as well. So, I mean, at least that's interesting,
I'm pretty sure they'll all be in the building.
Yeah,
that's another question.
I mean,
too.
Yeah.
New York.
What the ticket's going to be like? What the ticket price is going to be like?
Oh, my God. It's going to – if it's pay-per-view
well, New York is a good fight. I mean, New York is still a good fight town.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
It's a good fight town. I think, obviously, I don't know what Golden Boy prospects are New York based or East Coast based that they would build up the undercard. And same thing with Matchroom, correct? It's a joint promotion. It's very odd, and I know that at the press conference, some reporters are gonna have to bring that up. Why Barclays, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it comes down to who gave you the better deal. These places charge you.
I got to disagree with Josh. He said they could sell out the Barcade easy. I don't know if they could sell out the Barcade easy, being though that neither one of these guys got a lot of fans on the East Coast. Like the reason why Tank Davis was able to do $5 million is because he's from Baltimore. It ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump to come from Baltimore to New York. So that's the reason why.
I think Hitchens will be on that card.
Absolutely.
If Hitchens,
no, I don't think he will be on the card. But Hitchens is fighting soon. He's got a fight in Vegas actually. I want to say in March.
Is it Para?
No, it's not. He's got it's already was signed. It's
not Para.
I'll tell you right now. He's fighting in Vegas. I know that for a fact. I think it's in March. It's got to be in March because next week is March. So unless it's in April, let me look right now. I'm almost positive Hitchens has a fight in Vegas soon. So he'll be there, but he won't be on the card.
Yeah, that's the only problem I have with it is it's good for the fans, but it's like they trying to outdo Tank Davis, but you going about it the wrong way.
April 6th. Yeah, he's got to fight April 6th against Daniel Gustavo Lemos. He's undefeated 29-0. And it's in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a good fight. I don't care where they put it at, but for the fighters themselves, they trying to make a name outside of Tank Davis. This will be Ryan Garcia. If they put it on pay-per-view, this will be Ryan's first fight since Tank Davis on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This will be Devin Haney showing what he can do with a fighter that Tank Davis just had on pay-per-view.
Yeah, so, and this will be his second fight on pay-per-view.
Third.
For Haney, right? Second, third?
It's third. It's his third. He had.
Oh, that's right, because Loma was
Loma was on pay-per-view, and then he just had Regis.
Yeah. So,
do you think there's any chance that Virgil Ortiz is on that card? I mean, he barely fought the last time.
You know who else they might put on that card? I just thought about it. They might put Jose Ramirez on that card. They just signed him.
Right.
Yeah. So and
he hasn't fought in a while. They might put him on the card.
Schofield.
Schofield.
Yeah, Schofield. Yeah, they might put Schofield on it. He hasn't fought in a while neither.
You
So
know,
yeah, those two guys could be on. I mean, they can make it a big card, and they
Yeah.
could possibly do good.
Austin,
But
make it
I
Austin.
I just don't know how they. I don't know. I mean, far as the live gate, I don't know if the live gate is gonna touch close to 5 million.
Yeah.
But they can sell it out.
It's
But
interesting. It all depends on how much they're going to charge these damn tickets, which
yeah.
I'm sure Tuesday we'll get more information. That's going to be the first press conference in New York. And then I believe maybe Wednesday or Thursday, they probably go to LA and do the other press conference. So we might get more information, but it'll be interesting. I'm sure. I mean, with it being pay-per-view, I'm sure the tickets is going to be a lot more, which kind of suck, but but
I mean,
yeah.
I hope it does good for both of these fighters
Yeah.
because, like I said, you coming behind Tank Davis, you want to try to say, okay, look, we can keep up with Tank. We might not be able to beat him, but we can keep up with him.
Yeah.
But I just don't know because Tank is a bigger star than both these guys combined.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Tank, let's get to it. It looks like they reached a deal. We just don't have a date. I'm assuming it's June, but him and Frank Martin. I mean, that's an intriguing fight. I know one person that we know of, Sock. He already says that Tank is going to stop him like the 6th round. I don't think that's true. I don't believe that will happen. But what do you think?
Um.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. You was on the shop.
Yeah. Only because there was a mutual friend of ours that I started with him.
Go ahead, Shop. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Shop.
a mutual friend of ours said he'll stop. That Tank would win in 6, and I wanted what Sock thought.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Frank Martin is kind of like maybe the overachiever of the division. He's the older. He's the oldest out of all these guys that are top flight lightweights. I still favor Tank. Because Tank is he's got that eraser. Sometimes Tank is a little up and down. Is it a guaranteed knockout win? I wouldn't say no. I mean, I wouldn't say yes because, I mean, he went the distance with Gamboa. So, or just about, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I'm still favoring Tank, but Frank Martin is a live dog to say the least.
Yeah. D-Free? D-Free.
Yeah. I don't know if Tank stops Frank Martin because I don't like. I mean, we know Tank got all knockouts except for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I take that back. I think Tank will catch Frank at some point in that fight, but I think it's going to be late because Frank is a hell of a boxer. He got great skills. He got good defense. He got good footwork. He's a hell of a boxer. I don't know if Frank has enough power to keep Tank Davis honest because we've seen Tank Davis in there with 2 punchers now. He was in there with Roley. He was in there with Ryan. Both of those guys are punchers. And he was able to stop both of those guys. Frank is a better boxer than both of those guys, but I don't know if he has better power than both of them. What I will say is this is the first time that Tank Davis has facing a fighter that has all of the tangibles. He has the boxing ability, the defense, and the power. Tank Davis never faced nobody with all of those qualities at once. He faced a guy with maybe 1 or 2, but not all 3 of them. So this is going to be a challenge for Tank. I think it's also going to show a lot of people that they underestimated Tank boxing ability because I think Tank boxing ability is underrated. I think he's a better boxer than what a lot of people think he is. And this is also a fight that people said that Tank never took. He never fought. He don't fight black fighters. He don't fight people that box. He only fight people that come forward. So is a way for Tank to prove all of the naysayers wrong. It is also to bring more eyes to Tank Davis and say, oh, you know what? I see why Floyd liked Tank Davis because this guy is a hell of a fighter. He's not just a knockout artist. He can also box. But this is also something that I have said. A lot of people were saying Tank was going to fight Eastside Cruz, but I told everybody you got to wait to see who Tank announced as his fighter. Now, this fight hasn't been announced yet, but
No.
as all reports is they had struck a deal, and it looks like this is what's going to happen. So something could snag it, and it might not come to fruition. But as far as we looking at it right now, it looks like this fight is going to come to pass. But if it does, it'll be like I said. You got to wait till these guys say who their opponent is before you criticize them, because up until the Hector Garcia and the Ryan Garcia fight, Tank didn't have control of his career. He does now, and we see he's making these fights that we want to see him make. A lot of people said the Ryan Garcia was the exhibition, but a couple of years ago they wanted to see that Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight, and he made it happen. So we gotta let Tank do what he does and see if he's gonna do what he said he was gonna do. He said he want to fight Shakur, he want to fight Loma, he want to fight Devin. He's getting there with Frank. If this fight does come to pass, he's getting in there with Frank, somebody that we all said if he doesn't fight Shakur or Loma, we want to see him in there with Frank. Well, Frank look like it's going to be his opponent, so we got to see what happens.
Yeah, those are good points. The only thing I'll disagree with a little bit is, Rolly probably had the most power of those fighters, and Ryan Garcia has pop, but they weren't really fundamentally sound as Martin. And I think Frank has some pop too. Maybe not as much as those two fighters, but I think he's much more sharper than Ryan Garcia and Rolly. So that's why I think it'll be a little bit more difficult for Tank. And it is Tank's first time facing a fighter who can grow an afro. Great point, Lala D. No more flat-footed Hispanics, right? But with all jokes aside, D3 makes a good point. I think we're going to see Tank show more of his boxing ability that we believe that he hasn't really shown because he hasn't really had to use it. So it's an interesting fight. I think it's intriguing. I think it's not a 50-50 fight. I think it's more of a 70-30 fight in Tank's favor. But I think Frank's got a shot to win. And it's funny that you said that let's see if this fight happens because Frank supposedly had to fight with Shakur and pulled out. So I'd hope that this fight still goes on, and I hope Frank is getting paid a good penny and more than what he was going to get with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? So because this is a make or break fight for Frank, right? How old is he? He's like 29. He's pushing.
They both 29.
They're both 29. Yeah. But Frank hasn't really got that opportunity, and I think this is, I don't like to say make or break. 29 is still, but this is a statement fight. Maybe even in defeat if he goes out, in a competitive fight. But
first time spotlight.
This is big, and I'm interested to see when's the date. They said June, because that's two fighters now that the coach has.
They said late spring, early summer. So it could be anywhere from April to
May or June. Yeah, but remember, Garcia and Haney are in April, and the coach, the trainer. Oh my God, why can't I get his name?
I think it's most likely going to probably be. I think it's most likely going to probably be in June because you got Haney and Ryan Garcia April 20th, and then 2 weeks later you got Canelo Alvarez fighting.
Yeah.
And so I think Tank probably fight sometime in June.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's 2 months apart. I want to know how much would that affect with the trainer, James works with Garcia. He works with Derek James. That's it. Derek James. He works with Garcia and he works with Frank Davis. So that's intriguing as well. How that's going to work out, So and Frank hasn't been in a ring in a while. So as much and Tank too. This would be a year for Tank, and if it over a year because Tank's last fight was April, and I believe Frank Martin's last fight was sometime June or sometime in the summer this year.
Well, according to Derek James, the way he does his training for these fighters, he puts them on timetables. So each person has a time frame that they work out in the gym. Now they does have times where they all in the gym at the same time, but he has times where he focus on Earl at this time, and then at this time he's focused on Ryan. This time he's focusing on Frank. This time he's focusing on Jamel. So he has time tables set up for each one of the fighters. So it can still work because right now his main focus is on Ryan. If
Yeah.
Frank and Tank is going to be in June, the first
And
month or
Joshua.
two, the first month or two is
Hmm.
going to be pretty much Frank cutting his weight, making sure his weight is on point. The second month he could be working on sparring and getting fine tuned for the fight.
Yeah.
Because
Is he
I'm
still
almost
working with
certain
Joshua? I don't think
he's
he's
working out
working with.
now.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't think he's working with Joshua anymore, Sock. I thought
No,
it was
well,
only one
from
fight
what I
deal.
from what I heard, the fight that he had overseas, he wasn't working with Dirk James because it was overseas, and Dirk James was getting ready for the Jamel Charlo fight.
Yeah, but then
And
this fight
so
is overseas as well. I mean, so I
yeah,
wonder if he's
and
still
I think
working.
he might be letting AJ train with that guy again because he got to get Ryan ready for Devin Haney. Since he's
Yeah,
overseas, he's just going to stay over here and work with Ryan Garcia.
Maybe
Because AJ got somebody that he likes to work with over there. He might say, okay, you go ahead and
Is
work
he
with
back
him.
with Ben Davidson?
yeah, it would be
Yeah,
Davidson because that's where he had
yeah,
the last one.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
and Davidson's been solid. Davidson's done well, So, oh, that's intriguing. I mean, that's interesting. I like to bring those things up because not a lot of people bring that up, and they do factor. They do matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you got the same trainer and they got fighters within the same time frame, and Derek James, this is the year that he's got to kind of redeem himself. Didn't have a good 2023, so that's
Yeah.
intriguing all around.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
that's another thing. He got two big fights coming up. He got Ryan versus Devin, and if the Tank Davis fight, he got Frank versus Tank.
yeah,
So that's two huge fights again, back to back.
yeah, and we heard we still waiting for the announcement of what Canelo's going to do. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I mean, he says he still doesn't want to fight Benavidez. So Benavidez looks like he's going to be fighting at 175. He's going to fight. He's going to move up. What do you guys think? What do you think Canelo's next step is going to? Who's he going to fight next?
I think it might be Jaime because that's what the PBC saying. They saying they rather pay for him to fight Jaime than to pay for him to fight Jamal.
Hmm.
They saying he's not going to cherry pick Jamal. If you want to fight Cinco de Mayo and you're not fighting David Benavidez, then go ahead and fight Jaime.
Yeah.
So that's what the PBC is pushing for, which I don't want to see that fight, but I understand because him fighting Jamal right now, it is a cherry pick. We all know that Jamal is not ready for the Canelo Alvarez right now.
No shit.
I don't know if he will ever be ready for Canelo Alvarez. I think the time for Jamal to fight Canelo Alvarez was maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know if he will ever be ready for him now, but we right now that would be a cherry pick. But I said David Benavidez, he either if he's not fighting Canelo Alvarez, he either needs to fight David Morrell or move up to 175. And it seems like he's going to go ahead and go to 175.
Yeah. What do you think, Sock?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, Canelo, he's going to do what he wants to do. He's going to do what's best for Canelo. I think that I'm starting to lean more that it's going to be Munguia to get that fight in May. And it's funny because Benavidez is doing to David Morrell what Canelo's doing to him. So,
Okay. Sorry, guys. I just moved. I forgot that this fight was on. There's a fight on I really want to see, and it's in the 6th round. So I had to move to the kitchen. But go ahead, guys. It's Cain Sandoval's fighting Javier Molina. It's in the 6th round, and I don't know what's happened so far. So I've been high on this kid. I've been high on this kid, Cain Sandoval. He fights at 140, and he's like 12-0 with like 12 knockouts. But go ahead, Sock. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to run over.
Okay. I mean,
I almost forgot that this fight was on.
I mean, I pretty much, my take is on what all the news has been this week. I'm disappointed Benavidez is going up to light heavyweight because, I think the next best fight is him and Morrell. And so Morrell's kind of like the guy that's left on the outside looking in. If he goes up to light heavyweight, I mean, he's a huge super middleweight. So I don't see him going up to light heavyweight being much of a problem. He's fighting an unknown guy, Gavacic, however you say his name.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
he's
think,
relatively unknown.
yeah, relatively unknown. A safe opponent, but
Yeah.
obviously anything can happen. Um, I mean, what can you say? The WBC has to strip Canelo. That's the only thing.
They
I,
yeah,
I can think of.
they should, but you know how they do
But they
when it
won't.
comes to Canelo.
Yeah. It's a joke when it comes to WC. I guess it's the highest bidder, so they love those sanctioning fees. I guess so.
Yeah, because
That Canelo
Canelo
pays.
Canelo is still the cash cow. So they know, yeah, if we strip Canelo, it will be the right thing to do, but we're cutting our own pockets.
Mm.
So we all know that they move how the money moves. If the money say go this way, that's where they're going. Um, but I kind of had a feeling that David Benavidez wasn't going to fight Morrell when that whole situation happened between Sampson and Jose Senior, and they said that David Benavidez had signed the contract, and then David Benavidez came out and said he ain't signed anything. So I had a feeling he wasn't going to fight Morrell.
Now, let me play devil's advocate, and I'm going to piggyback off of what Steve Kim, the great journalist, has said. Part of this to blame is Benavidez, because Benavidez himself, lost the titles outside the ring,
Yeah,
by his bad
Yeah.
habits. So maybe
that's true.
Benavidez has a lot to look in the mirror. I'm not one of these people who's going to take credit for an idea. I saw Steve Kim put it out on Twitter, so I'm going to give him his props and paraphrase what he said. But there is some truth to that. So that's what I'm saying. I think yeah, Benavidez to say Canelo's ducking me, but what about Morrell? Look at you're doing to Morrell what Canelo's doing to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
And
I still think, yeah, if you look at the fight and just say, okay, which fight makes more money? Does the Jaime McGear versus Canelo make more money than David Benavidez? I don't believe so. I don't believe Jaime has a bigger name than David Benavidez. Now he does in Mexico, but a lot of those Mexican fans know who David Benavidez is as well.
yeah,
So and you got more American fans know who David Benavidez is than they do Jaime. So David has fans on both sides of the coin. Same
yep,
way as Canelo. Canelo got fans on both sides of the coin. So I think the David Benavidez fight is a bigger fight. I think the problem is Canelo Alvarez don't want to lose to another Mexican, because when he lose to another Mexican, he lost that fan base, because they're going to look at Canelo. Okay, you had a great one. We're going with the young guy now.
he's
I
passing
think
the torch.
I think Jaime McGear is a better look for Canelo, because I think Canelo is going to beat Jaime easy. I think he's going to beat him easy. When it comes to David Morrell, I don't think Canelo can beat David. I'm sorry, David Benavidez. I don't think Canelo can beat David Benavidez. That's why he's not taking that fight.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just crazy. I think this is just a bunch of excuses for Canelo. I mean, Benavidez, yes, he's Mexican, but he's also Ecuadorian, and he's an American fighter, right? And it goes back to like what I've been saying, even when it comes to like, all these national competitions where it's just the World Classic baseball and stuff like that, like who should play with what country. If you're using the facilities here and you're raised here in the United States, then you're an American fighter. Like you're an American fighter with Mexican descent and Ecuadorian descent and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Canelo saying that he don't want to fight a Mexican, he's not. He's fighting an American fighter that's just of Mexican descent. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So I just think that's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? So Canelo.
That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, because my father was born in America. He's full blood Puerto Rican, but he was born in America. I mean, he's Puerto Rican descent, but he's American.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. That's how my father looked at it. He's like, no, I'm American. They were like, but you're Puerto Rican. He said, yeah. I have full blood Puerto Rican, but I was born in America. I'm born, raised, lived my whole life in America. I never lived in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's just the same. Lala D says he has Dominican blood too. You heard that, Sock?
Who?
Benavides, he has Dominican blood also.
I've never heard that.
Don't get Sock in the bandwagon. You know he loves his Dominican fighters.
Not really.
No, unless it's Garcia, the Garcia that lost to Tank and Roach. I mean,
he's a sucker. He quit. Hector
Well, a lot of people don't know that Ofacios half Dominican, right? He's half Puerto Rican.
He's half Dominican. His mother.
Yeah.
So
that's why Sock works for them. Sock loves the Dominican fighters.
I work with whoever pays me.
Whoever okay.
I work for the check. No, just kidding. It's for the love of the game.
Good point.
Yeah.
I want this fight looks like they've been going back and forth, but I missed the first.
Yeah, I mean,
5 rounds.
It's funny, because so Benavides he lost 2 belts on this, away from boxing, right? So that probably affects Canelo's decision to even go and try to unify the super middleweight division. He's not that good. That was he Dominican?
The one that fought last week? No, he was he 160?
No. He's talking about what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember his name.
There was a Dominican that fought last week.
Yeah, from Jersey. He's pretty good.
From Jersey, yeah.
He's a decent prospect.
Yeah.
He's talking about the guy that beat what's his name? He lost.
Oh, I know you're talking about
Teixeira.
He's got a loss though, right?
Yeah, he lost to Teixeira.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. They're talking about him and Janabek.
Oh
my God, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can't get his name. He's solid. He's not a bum. Adamas. He's not a bum. He's solid.
I think he's a bum, but he gets knocked out. He gets knocked out by that Russian dude.
Who, Janabek?
He stops him.
You think so?
I know so.
All right, you heard it here first, guys.
I got a 54 that'll knock his ass out. He ain't shit. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I know the 54. The 54, we know about the 54.
I don't think Adamas is any good.
No.
I think he tries hard, but he's very limited.
Okay.
I'm not a big. This is probably the weakest 160 been in a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a trash division.
Yeah, because I don't think Janabek's that good. I think he's all right. I don't think he's as good as the best. Yeah, but because of the weight, the division.
But this is bad. Yeah. This is like that time where we had like right before Roy Jones came. It's a shit right now. Out of the glamour divisions, is shit.
Yeah.
Maybe
Charlo needs to move up. Jamel.
Maybe.
So I mean, maybe he needs to move up and make those fights. He's got to redeem himself after that Canelo outing. So.
Yeah.
I don't have much more on boxing. I wanted to talk about last week. We spoke with Keith. Fossil will have on next week. I was hoping maybe, one of the, the Ferreits would be on this week, but I know they got the fight tomorrow. That's my fault, guys. They were available on Monday, and I was tired Monday. I couldn't do the interview on Monday, but maybe we get them next week after the Berlanga fight. We're talking about Mark and Ray Ferret, who work with Berlanga, but they wanted to do it on Monday, but your boy Tom is old and he was a bit tired and couldn't do it. So.
I think Andy Cruz is on that undercard tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, I think he's the co-main event.
Yep.
You know who's on the card too? The guy from Harlem, the Mexican guy, that New Yorker. He's fighting a Puerto Rican guy. Oh my God, Andy Dominguez. Yeah, he's fighting a Puerto Rican. That's going to be a good fight. He's fighting.
It's a decent card.
Yeah, he's fighting tomorrow too. He fights out of Mendez Gym in Harlem, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
yeah, that's gonna be a good, interesting fight. Both guys undefeated. This is a big fight for Dominguez. I think he's on the B side too. So
it's a decent card.
yeah,
To watch tomorrow. And then you have what, Joshua and then Gano's what, in 2 weeks?
yeah, it's in March. I want to say 2 weeks. I think you're right. So yeah, we got some fights coming up. The card is pretty solid. Berlanga, let's talk about. We didn't even talk about it. Berlanga's in a tough fight, I believe. You know, it's a fight that he's supposed to win, but he's fighting this guy McCrory, and you know, he's from Belfast, Ireland, and those guys they don't lay down for anybody. They come to fight. So you know, I think Berlanga's in a tough fight. He looked pretty good in the scales. He looked at the weigh-in. He looked pretty good. You know, his last fight he looked better than usual. He didn't get a stoppage. He dropped the guy about 3 or 4 times. So I think we're gonna get a good fight with Berlanga and this guy. I think this guy, he's an older guy. He's 33. This is like his big chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna have a good main event. I think the overall card is good, but I think Berlanga's going to be in a good fight, and it'd be good to see, you know, how he comes out in boxes in this fight.
I think Berlanga going to lose a split decision.
Yes, I mean, listen, a lot of people I didn't check the odds. I should have checked the odds for this fight. I'm sure Berlanga's favorite, but I wonder how much of a favorite he is. What do you think, Sock?
I mean, I don't know much about the Irishman other than the fact he's undefeated. He's the taller fighter. He's a little older, but it should be entertaining. I mean, this is Edgar's second fight. You know, since he switched trainers, he's going back to his roots. He may wait a little easier than the last time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good indication. I think I expect Edgar to do well tomorrow. You know, he's fighting in Orlando, big Puerto Rican fan base in Orlando. And he knows what he has ahead of him. A win tomorrow puts him in line, you know, not in the upper echelons of the super middleweight division, but, you know, there's noise to be made, you know, and he puts his name in that hat, right? For big fights. I think the change in training is big. From what I understand, he's humbled himself a little bit, you know. He's going to church, you know. If there's intangible factors, right?
Yeah.
What soured a lot of people about Edgar Berlanga, there was a lot of sizzle but very little steak, right? He was knocking out a lot of guys that he was supposed to knock out early. He had the top-ranked machine, the ESPN machine, the monster, you know, King Kong, this, you know, pounding his chest. But when he fought someone that kind of had a little chin and kind of stood up to him, it was kind of like a one-trick pony. And he fell into that lazy puncher mentality, you know. And, you know, he was in the limelight with Fat Joe, you know, and he's starting to feel himself, right? He got into that, what I mentioned earlier about an hour ago, that Brooklyn knuckleheadness, right? And but I think they pulled the reins back on him. I think just early enough that his career could be saved. And from what I understand, he's changed his habits. He's humbled himself. He's going to church, and he's real focused on being a fighter first before he's a star. So I'm ready to give Berlanga a second chance. You know, and tomorrow's a big day. But let's see. You know, like you said, those Irish fighters come to fight.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
You know?
D Free, you're picking Berlanga to lose. Tell us why.
I think Berlanga, he has problems with guys in the later round when he can't get them out of there. We saw that when he fought Damon Milkerson.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in the other fight. I think what was the first fight I think it was the first fight he went the distance with. Was that Damon? Was that
the one on the
Argentinian fighter?
Argentina, yeah.
Yeah,
he got dropped.
Yeah, he got dropped in that fight. if he can't hurt his opponent or get him out there early, he has problems, and it he acts like, I mean, I'm not gonna say he acts. He doesn't have a plan B. His plan A is all he has, and that's to knock the person out. He doesn't have a plan B, and that's the issue with Belanga when he gets in there with somebody that got a chin or somebody that can actually box.
Hmm.
I think this guy, if he takes Belanga into deep water, because I've seen him fight like once or twice, and the guy's a pretty decent fighter. If he could take Belanga into the deep waters, he can possibly stop Belanga. He could possibly stop him. But I don't think he's going to stop him. I think he's just going. I think he's going to outbox Belanga, and I think he might get a split decision. Belanga going to have moments. I think he might hurt him once or twice. He's going to have moments, but I think Belanga's going to get outboxed. I think he's going to end up losing to a split decision. It's about due for Belanga to lose. He had a couple of close fights where he almost lost and he pulled it out, but he's about due for a loss.
It's interesting. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, and I understand why you say what you say, because Berlanga has not looked like the Berlanga that was what came off 16 straight knockouts and stuff like that. But I think what Sock is saying, I think part of it's true, because I think since he's got back with his old trainer, what I know of Berlanga is that when he came up in through the amateurs and became pro, he was really a boxer. He was more, he had good boxing IQ. He can box, but I think he just fell in love with the knockouts, fighting at the bigger weight. But I think now that he's resurrected with his old trainer, I think he's going to go back to those, those fundamentals. And I think you're going to see a much better, Berlanga. He looked way better shape. He looked like he looked way better shape than he did the last fight. And from my understanding, Sock told me this. In his last fight, he struggled to make the weight. Like, he had to lose a bunch of weight the last couple of days of camp, up to the weigh-in. So it doesn't look like this was the case in this fight. So I think it seems to me that he's a little bit more dedicated than he was before, when he was under, with the Fat Joe, with the Terror Squad at the parade and stuff like that. Also last week when I got to speak with Ricardo Sock, he was telling me the same thing. He said, guys like Berlanga are good, but when you get, when you're not managed correctly, because Ricardo's a manager, you tend to, you go back to bad habits. You're not as dedicated, because the managers and the people looking out for you are not really looking out for you, for your best interest. And when Fat Joe got into the picture, and he started seeing this money and and the Terror Squad chain and all of that, the bad habits come into effect. So I think him coming back with Mark, kind of gets him rid of those bad habits, and I think you see a much more focused Berlanga. Now, this is just us talking, and just from what we've seen from the last fight to this fight. So we'll see tomorrow. So either D3 will be right, or either will be right, or maybe he's losing the whole fight and gets lucky and knocks the guy out. Who knows? But we'll see tomorrow, what Berlanga has in store, and if it's the Berlanga of old.
It's a 9-year age difference too.
Yeah, the guy's he doesn't have many KOs. I think he has like 9 KOs.
Right. I mean, 9 years age difference is big. They both coming off the distance. Like you said, Berlanga hasn't had a knockout in 3 fights. Okay, I'm looking here. Okay, so the Quigley fight for Berlanga was last June in 2023. McCrory's last fight was in August of 2023 against Steve Woodhull, who he went the distance with. Before that, he went the distance in May of 2023, and before that, he went the distance in December. So it's been a minute since he's had a knockout. So I think it should be a good fight. It's a good, entertaining fight. I'm giving Berlanga the benefit of the doubt, because I know that his training camp, the 2 guys that are with him, are no nonsense. I don't think they're going to be ass kissing. I think he respects them.
Yeah,
put it that way. And he's only 26. So I think that I'm not ready to jump off the wagon necessarily. I think he could still be fixed.
Yeah, I agree. And then, let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So far, like I said, the weigh-in, he looked good.
Mm-hmm.
He said all the right things at the press conference. So let's see. I know leading up to the fight, there was some trash talk, but the press conference, they were both pretty respectful. No crazy, words being said. Not that matters much, but for Berlanga, I think it matters a little bit, based on what's happened over the last few fights. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's all I got at this fight. They're gonna announce the winner. I only seen the last few rounds. Kane, it looks like unanimous decision, but he did not get a knockout. This is his first fight, and he just won unanimous decision. I'm gonna have to watch the replay of this, but I'm high on this kid. He fought a guy, that's never been knocked out. A guy that moves, Javier Molina. So it's a step up fight for this kid. So I'm hopefully I can have him on the show. I've spoken to him a few times through DMs, so he's been very responsive, which is good. So hopefully I can get him on. But yeah, back to the show, back to the scheduled program. So it's getting a little late. We said, we had a nice little show. Also tomorrow is Elimination Chamber, Sock.
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber. I know you guys watch wrestling still. Stop it. So,
I think I'm not really thrilled with the card, and I think it starts in a little bit. It starts at 5 a.m.
Oh, really? Is that early?
Yes.
Yeah. The Berlanga card starts at 5 a.m.
No. We're talking about the wrestling, the Elimination Chamber. No, the Berlanga card starts late. It's in Florida.
Oh no,
it starts regular. We're talking about wrestling.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm
Chamber,
sorry.
yeah.
It is wrestling. I got it mixed up because he was talking
Yeah,
about
the wrestling.
boxing and wrestling at the same time.
We talk about everything here, man.
Berlanga started at 5 a.m.
It's in Australia.
It's in Australia. So,
so the time difference.
I got to check that out. But
yeah,
I'm not. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy.
Y'all stay up and watch wrestling.
I just heard.
I don't even know who the champions are. I don't even know who the champions are. That's how long it's been since I watched wrestling.
So you don't acknowledge the head of the table, Roman Reigns?
I know who Roman Reigns is. I said I don't know who the champions are.
He's the champ. He's one of the champs. He's one of the champs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Cody to finish the story.
Finish the story. The Rock is going to be. I don't know if the Rock's going to come out tomorrow. He's supposed. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. All right. Well, I don't know if you got anything. I know we never talked about the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl was 2 weeks ago, and then we didn't come on last week. But all I'm going to say about the Super Bowl is that I'm glad that the Niners lost. That's all that matters. So
yeah,
that's all I got to say about that. We'll be
The salary
talking.
cap went up.
The salary cap, they announced the salary cap went up. That's good. I don't know how much that will help Seattle, but
yeah. He said, Lala said, tell D that the champion is Hulk Hogan. That might have been the last. No, actually, the last time I watched wrestling, I think Brock Lesnar was the champion. The last time I actually was watching wrestling. It was right when he had came back and he started running through everybody. He beat John Cena and he was running through everybody.
Well, when he squashed John Cena too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Great job. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watch it every night. It's gotten a little better than what it was. Like, I was a gap that I didn't watch for a while, but I still watch it. I'm still a mark. But that's all I got, guys. I don't know if you guys got anything. I appreciate you guys. D Free, thanks for sharing us on your platform. Shout out to Keith Cologne. Keith Cologne,
yes,
he's got a heck of a future. Sock, you got to rewind and look at it. He's a good kid.
Hey,
I don't know if I told you.
Before you go.
Yes.
What is your team going to do with the new $30 million salary cap?
My team?
Yeah.
I don't know. I that's why I said I don't think it's going to help us. So
I appreciate the special team coaches you let us get.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do.
What do you guys think you guys gonna do in the draft?
Hey, I don't know about the draft, but with us having somewhere between 87 and 93 million over the cap space, they better make some goddamn noise in free agency. I know that much. Better make some noise in free agency. But I think we got somewhere around 9 or 10 picks this year, 9 or 11 picks.
Yeah, y'all got a lot of picks. Yeah.
I think we got 4 within the first 100. We got 4 picks within the first 100. So they better. I mean, what I will say is they put together a hellified coaching staff. God damn! I was not expecting the coaching staff that we had. I will say that, but the coaching's got to go out there and coach. They started off good. They look very good right now. Now they just got to go out there and have these players play. Get the right players that we need to have and have them out there playing. But man, shout out to Joe Harris and Magic, because y'all put together a hellified coaching staff.
Do you think they trade? Because there's rumors they're going to trade the QB.
I don't know if they're going. You talking about Sam Howell?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to trade Sam Howell, because I heard something about Chicago wanted Sam Howell. I don't know. I don't know if they will, because they was trying to get Sam Howell. They was going to give us Mitch Trubisky and a 3rd round pick. I don't know if Washington's going to take that. I mean, either way, Mitch Trubisky is going to be a backup. Sam Howell is most likely probably going to be a backup, because they probably going to get somebody a top quarterback with that first pick, and then they're going to start picking up where they need to pick up at. So I think either way, Sam Howell or Mitch Trubisky, they're going to be the backup either way. But I don't know if Washington is going to go for Chicago and take that pick.
It's interesting. What do you they're sitting at number 2. Do they got 2 first round picks?
Yeah, we got 2 first round picks. We got 2 second round picks.
Where's the other first round pick? I'm trying to find it.
I think it's like 20.
Washington could get good overnight.
I think it's like 20 something.
I don't see it. Why I don't see it? Traded to Houston.
I know we got 4 in the first 100 picks. We got 4 in the first 100. One of our picks we got because of our place that we finished at. The other pick we got from somebody else. Who was it that we got the pick from? It was somebody we traded, and we got that pick because of the place that they landed at. Okay. Or we might have just took their first round pick.
See, I don't see y'all. Y'all might got more in the second round. I only see y'all once in the first round.
Matter of fact, I'll look it up real quick because I saw it.
It's interesting because you guys are in the second spot. You don't know what Chicago's going to do. They got number 1. Do they keep Fields, or do they trade Fields and draft a quarterback? It's interesting. Or do they trade down?
I don't know if they're going to trade down. I don't know. I hope they don't. I want to stay at the second. I mean, only way I see us trading down is if we pick up some more first round picks.
So you pick 4th in the second round, and number 4. So you got 1, 2. It looks like you got 3 second round picks. I think you're right. I finally got the board.
Okay, so it's 3 second round. We got 1 first round, 3 second rounds.
No, okay, 2 second rounds, and then 2 third rounds.
Okay, hold on.
But this may not be fully up to date, but yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of interesting moves that can be made. I just don't know what Seattle's going to do, and I want to say I don't care, but I think they need to release a few players that they shouldn't have anymore. But that's just me.
Somebody had posted our pick. Oh, that's where it is. Hold on one second. I'll tell you what it is. That's who posted. Marky Dan posted all of the draft picks that we had.
Okay.
He
said, Marky Dan, I said, fuck the Eagles.
Yeah, he sent it to me. He was like, man, y'all got all these goddamn picks.
Sock, what do you think about the Raiders?
There you go, right here. We got we got he well, according to what he got up here, that was before what happened. He had the ninth pick, the 37th pick, the 40th pick. No, that's the players that we picked up. That's not the pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think some of these are
That's the
updated.
players that we picked up. Hold on, where's it at?
Hmm.
I know he sent it to me, but I'm trying to see where he sent it at.
No.
Anyway, I know we got a hellified. We got like 4 picks within the first 100.
Sock, I mean, well, D, who do you guys want? Who do you want Washington to take with that second pick? You have anybody in mind? Like, do you want a quarterback? D free?
It was they was talking about moving up. I guess making some trades to move up for the first pick and getting Greg Williams.
Greg
from
Williams.
UFC. I mean,
Caleb Williams. Caleb.
I said Greg Williams.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams from UFC.
Yeah.
So I understand why they want to get him because that's our offensive coordinator, quarterback. I understand that, but I don't see us doing that. I wouldn't mind getting the quarterback from Washington or the quarterback from LSU. The only problem I had with the quarterback Jalen from LSU is he's so small. He's like a string bean. Now he put on weight, but he's still. I think they got him listed as like 6'1", 205, 210, something like that. I need him to be somewhere around 220. I don't want no string bean quarterback. Now he can move. He don't throw a lot of picks. He don't throw a lot of picks, and he could definitely run with the ball. They was trying to compare him to Lamar Jackson, but he's not on the level of Lamar Jackson. He's more on the level of what's his name? The old quarterback for Chicago. Jay
Cutler?
Yeah, Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler?
He's more like Jay Cutler.
Okay.
Without as many mistakes that Jay Cutler makes. He doesn't make as many mistakes, but he's more of that type of quarterback where he can run if he has to run, but he's not no Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I feel about Caleb. Like Caleb didn't look too good last season. You know, he had his moments, but not as like the season before. So I don't know. Kiko, who do you like for the Raiders to get?
Well, they get the 12th pick in the draft. I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing rumors because they hired the offensive coordinator from the Bears that Justin Fields trade could be made. I would do it for a second-round pick.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean,
that's a good move.
Yeah, if you can do it for a second-round pick, and then at number 12, you draft the best player available, I think we could use some help on the D-line or possibly maybe trade down, you know. But I would love – I mean, the Raiders traditionally have always been good with reclamation quarterbacks. Going way back in the day with Jim Plunkett, then, you know, from the modern day, Hostetler was, you know, a guy that got a second chance. Rich Gannon, you know, second chance. So who knows? You know, Justin Fields, if you look at the last 6 weeks of last year, had a pretty good year, you know, and I want to say he might have been the youngest quarterback drafted when he was taken. So it was just a matter of the reps. So I think the Bears are making a mistake giving up on him. If I'm the Bears, I would take the best player available, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. And you put him, you give Fields as many weapons as possible, but they want to give up on Fields. I'll take him for a second-round pick. So I think he would fit really well with the Raiders. I think we have a lot of weapons, and I'm excited for next year for sure.
That's what I was about to say. If we don't take a quarterback, I want them to take Marvin Harrison Jr. If we don't take a quarterback.
He's the one guy you could pencil in
Yeah.
for for the Pro Bowl for the next 10 years. He's a beast. I mean, genetics are something to be said for.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the game, and he could dominate a game. To me, he was the best player all year last year in college.
Yeah.
When he played, because he missed a couple games, but yeah. But yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. Definitely. It's interesting. That's what I'm saying. Those first two picks are very interesting because both teams got a quarterback. Like, I don't know. Does Washington give up on Howell already? Like, I don't know. They didn't protect him.
Only reason why I think they might give up on him is because of the offensive coordinator. That's not his type of quarterback that he normally plays with.
Yeah.
And it's a new coaching staff, so I could see them giving up on him. But at the same token, I could see them keeping him as well because they got a hellified offensive coordinator who can coach him up. They could put some weapons around him to cover up some of his flaws that he has. So I could see him keeping him, and I could see him getting rid of him.
One thing I do know about Washington is, based on what D. Free says, is that every coach that they have is hellified good. So they got a hellified coordinator, hellified coaching staff. Washington better make the playoffs next year.
Hey, I hope so. Like I said, they started off on a good foot. I hope they finish it because, like I've been saying for the last couple of years now, we haven't had a defending champion to repeat. So Dallas lost. No, Dallas won this year. The Eagles won last year. I don't think Dallas is going to win again this year. I don't see them winning. I think Dallas defense is going to suffer dramatically.
Yeah.
They lost their offensive coordinator and his assistant to Washington, and we was about to get the D-back coordinator. We was about to get him. They blocked us from getting him because he wanted to go with Dan Quinn as well, but they blocked us. They wouldn't let us talk to him. So,
they'll have their quarterback back next year with the great Bland, who had a great sick year. Who I don't even think he's that good. But they get their star cornerback will be back. He got hurt. Diggs.
Yeah. So
it Diggs, right? Right, Diggs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. I mean, we good with what we got. The only problem I had with the coaching staff that we got, there's only one problem, and that's the offensive line coach that we picked up from the goddamn New York Giants. I was like, no, the hell y'all did not get Bobby. No, the hell you didn't get Bobby. That's the only problem. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt because all of the other coaches they picked up, they good as hell and they know they shit. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, we took the Eagles offensive coordinator and put him back at his rightful position as the passing coordinator. He's only there for the passing coordinator. He's not no offensive coordinator. We got the offensive coordinator. So we got him and we put him back at his rightful spot. So I will say maybe they know that he wasn't in the right coaching situation and they didn't put him in the right position to be able to coach his players properly. So maybe they seen something that nobody else see. I don't know. But his assistant is better than what he was last year. So maybe they know what they're doing. So I give them the benefit of the doubt until I see otherwise.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. That was pretty good. I mean, football's over. It'd be interesting. We got the draft coming up. Baseball season's gonna start about a month away from baseball. Baseball starts early this year, I believe, because they got two international games start early this year, I think.
Oh, wow.
Sock, is that right? I'm not too sure. I think they start early. There's two.
I'd have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I feel like the season starts somewhere March 20, something around there. It's early. But it could be like, I know when they've done this before, it's like 2 games and then the rest of the season, the rest of the teams play like the week later or something. Something
Yeah,
weird like that.
it's
Um
going to begin in Korea,
it's in Korea. Okay, yeah. So it's an
March
international.
28th. Dodgers Padres.
Okay. So yeah,
You know what I
we'll
need
probably
from
do
you?
some.
You know what I need from you, Thomas?
What's up?
I need another football card live stream.
I got it. You know what? You know what's crazy? I haven't done anything with football cards. I got into soccer cards. So maybe I'll do one of those. I've been doing soccer cards because I like the value with soccer cards, and the hit or misses are pretty good because soccer, you know, it's hard to explain, but I've been more into it. But I maybe I'll do some football cards in the next month or two, because now the football cards have come out. The new ones for this year, for last year, come out, and obviously the hottest card out from this year would be the Houston quarterback.
C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud is the hot card to get. So as far as rookies is concerned, so that's what everybody's chasing. But yeah, maybe I'll do one. I got to do that. So there's a few things we got to do. That'll be good. I want to do one there. I want to do a poker show. One of my guys is starting to do games again in the city, so I want to do that. Maybe stream a tournament. I want to do we got to do a baseball preview, Sock. We got to do like we did for football. I think we want to do a baseball preview show. And then I know, Sock, you were working on you want to set up a March Madness show. So when the tourney starts up for the Madness, maybe we could do one for that.
Okay.
So I don't follow college basketball like I used to, but I think D3 follows.
I didn't know you play poker.
I used to be heavy. A heavy poker player.
Me too. That's what I used to play every Wednesday. I used to play.
Yeah, I used to deal for a poker game every Monday nights, and then we do a game on the weekends. And I used to run a game. I ran a game for about 2 years. I ran a game every Saturday and every Wednesday, which was fun and a pain in the neck. So I ran one. With my boy that used to work in the barbershop. I won't say names, but yeah, I used to be very heavy into the poker world. So we'll talk. Yeah, so that's good to know. So yeah, so that's a couple ideas I have in mind. Obviously, we always do boxing and we do all sports, but football season's over, so we need a filler. So NBA basketball is getting better because it's the playoffs are coming up. That's when the NBA is good. So yeah, so that's a few things in mind that we're gonna probably do. Maybe do another night besides just Friday. So, but definitely want to do a baseball preview and definitely want to do a March Madness preview.
Okay.
So we could do maybe a selection show or something. Right? Maybe we could do that like when they do the selection show on Sunday. Maybe we do a live that evening, and we'll just talk about the tourney and the brackets. We'll do our brackets.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we could do that. So maybe and then I'll see. You know what? That's what I'll do. I'm gonna reach out to Carl Krauser, and then and tell him that that's what we're looking to do, and he could do his brackets too. That'd be great. That'll be good. Good exposure. Carl Krauser, he played for Pitt. Out of New York. So yeah, let's do that. And then Sock, we get a couple people we know like Los and who likes the whole Big East. So yeah, we know a friend of ours. He knows a lot about college basketball. He's pretty on point, but he doesn't have a team. He just roots for any team out of the Big East. So
wow.
Yeah, we clown him for that, but he's pretty consistent. So, but yeah, if you guys any last words before we sign off?
No, I'm it.
A1 Hoops. A1 Hoops could get on it too, but he don't really do college basketball.
A1 Hoop Zone.
Yeah, he don't do college. He does NBA. So if we do NBA playoffs, we could link up with him. He knows a lot about NBA basketball. He has a good channel. He does predictions. His predictions is pretty on point. He breaks it down. So there's a lot of content creators out there that we know and they do good work, and just need a little bit more exposure because, it's not like we're sharing content creators that don't know shit. They know their shit. So, yeah. But that's it, guys. I don't have anything else. I'm tired. I want to watch the rest of this main event. Quentin Randall against this guy that Freddie Roach trains. And then I'll watch the end of that. So, Crush the Legend was good. We're about to sign off, guys. So, thank you, Sock. Thank you,
D Free. And
we'll see you guys definitely next Friday, and maybe we might pop up during the week. But definitely next Friday, we got a few people lined up. So enjoy the fights this weekend, and you guys have a great weekend. And take care.
Peace. D Free.
All right, peace.
Triple T.
Later.
All right.
Trash talking time.